I have security concerns on how those doors are set up themselves as well, that need, some issues that need to be taken care of. And so the approximate total on everything would be about $11,547.37. It's gonna move a little bit, obviously, just due to if you have a little bit of overages or if one door might take you a little bit longer, you might have some more time involved with it. Any questions you have for me?
You have Mossett Welding listed here, what does that?
It's where, cause with how the doors are set up, you have to weld a hinge onto the door frame. Because we're getting away with using one hinge for the bottom section of the door, and we have to weld on another hinge to the bottom section for the top panel of the door itself. And so, and then he'll be doing that on that. I'll be giving him a hand with that as well, and he'll be helping me out with that, so this way we have everything set up in the right way for the doors to operate properly.
Well, I think having the courthouse secure is, yeah, nowadays, you don't know anymore.
Right, like I say, it is definitely a security and safety concern, and I feel that the employees' safety is definitely a high priority with this.
Some of them doors gotta be pretty old. Not, I mean,
Yeah,
They're
there's,
probably original.
I think it's out of line to probably update some doors that are probably,
yeah,
as
there's,
old as the courthouse, some of them, I mean, they're old,
Absolutely,
yeah,
right.
so I don't think it's unreasonable.
No,
And I do like the half door because it, at least, like you said, it doesn't give someone the opportunity to just run right into an office or something, I mean.
like I say, with the example that we have at the sheriff's office, it does work very, very well for creating that barrier to keep people at bay that don't need to be coming necessarily in and out of your office.
right. So we need a motion.
We need a motion, we got more discussion.
So Marlis, what would be, I mean, this would come out of like the
This would be my
courthouse,
building, my maintenance upkeep.
the maintenance and up, I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Courthouse maintenance.
Can we get a grant on that or no?
I don't think so.
No?
right, but I mean, we have money budgeted for this, like,
Yeah.
this isn't like in excess of the current budget, so.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's, I think.
I mean, I would make the motion to, approve Craig's estimate for doors and locks and give him approval to follow through with the changes,
Forward.
move forward with the new doors.
I'll second.
We got a motion by Mr. Magrum, second by Van Horst. Any more discussion on it?
Gonna try and sell the doors to an antique shop, or what are you gonna do with the old ones?
The way how I understand it with the historical society, if the doors are not in detrimental deterioration, we actually have to store them. So I do have space downstairs for them to go to.
You have to what store?
Oh, you do, because it's,
Because it's
Historic.
part of the historical part of the building, yeah.
So do you need approval from the Historical Society to do this?
There will be one, I just wanna make sure I have approval from the commissioners here before I make that paperwork filing, because it doesn't pay for me to file the paperwork if we
Right.
get not approved on it.
So that's gotta be approved by the
I'm
Historical.
sure.
Correct,
they'll
yes.
have to.
And they'll probably wanna design the door the way they want.
There's a process that I've gone through that, we worked with Mary Sanger on when we had that, last project that we did back in 2024 when Comstock was here. The Historical Society is very good to work with. It's a pretty clear cut try. I don't foresee any issues with the Historical Society with these doors.
So there's a motion, a second. Anything else, Gardner, anything? Matters, nothing?
No.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed, motion carried. Good.
All right, thank you very much.
thanks, Craig. Thank you.
Do you guys wanna break for lunch or do you wanna go soon? It's up to you
Well,
guys.
Danny's here, you gotta get Danny
Huh?
done. I said, get Danny done at least, he's here.
Who's there? Danny, you're Danny?
Danny and Rafter Real Estate, you already met my boss, Kelsey.
Yeah, we're just here representing buyers and sellers on a transaction, and they had some surveys done.
Okay, sure.
I don't know, you guys have this?
2 surveys in
I don't
front.
think so.
Okay,
Josh?
We have one.
Okay, so
We have one.
I can't pull it up anymore. The computer which the camera's on is freezing up, so I had to switch computers. Cause normally I pull it up, but I did look at.
There's 2
There's 2
different
of them, right?
ones, yep, so
Yeah.
we gotta separate here.
I got the prelim and everything. As long as they didn't change, they are good. Everything, what is this?
Let's call it.
this is the call-up one.
This is a 3-page field, correct? There's
Yeah, so I didn't see any issue with either one, cause that one's going up Smelt Lane
There's 3 pages.
up,
Okay.
at Beaver Bay. And then this one's down.
West of Westfield.
There's 3 pages attached to one of it.
Oh,
Right? There's 3 pages to this.
Three-
There's only 3 units we got here.
Yes,
Well, here's,
no, go ahead.
here's
So
the
the-
first stand.
The Westfield one, there's 3 pages, yes.
Go ahead.
I don't know which one they have in front of them.
Yes.
so I don't want to.
Do you have the L-shaped one? So,
Sure, yes.
yes, that one. So that one, there is surveyed of cropland in that because the fella is getting a VA loan and you cannot have, land that you're making money off in the VA loan. So the 51 acres is being purchased by a VA loan. And the rest cropland is being purchased by an egg loan, but it's still purchased by the same person, same, transaction at the title team.
So you still just get tract A, cause that's still included. in
Yes,
tract
yes.
A.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's buying all of it, just
Yeah, that's fine.
portioning out crops versus pasture.
well, Josh looked it over.
Yeah, they're both good.
It's all good?
They're good, yep.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, I typically get the preliminaries, draw them out, check the meets and bounds. And, you know, it's over an acre, so it kind of meets that requirement, but yeah, they're good.
Good.
Well, in that case, somebody wanna make a motion on what was presented to us on this plat?
Does it have to go through you guys?
Do you have to look at it first or no?
We didn't get it, it was filed too late for a meeting.
Oh,
So what happened is normally these have been going through the planning and zoning, this kinda came in right between the planning and zoning meeting and our meetings. But we are the final say on it anyway,
Yeah.
and for the sake of their timeline and trying
yeah,
to
right,
process all
rather
this,
than wait all.
the agreement was just bring it forward to the commissioners.
Yeah.
6 months ago, this would have been exactly how we did it too.
Mhm.
With plats, as long as Josh reviews it and says it's recordable and meets all our
Yeah.
responsibilities, you know, there's usually very little with plats. I mean, basically, this one is one tract, and then they separated another tract out for financial purposes.
financial reasons.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
it looks pretty cut and dried to me. I'll make the motion to approve both plats.
There's a second of that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go do.
Wait, the second one, do we need to talk about that one?
She said, oh.
Both of them
No,
are-
yeah, because basically it's just one plat and then a
No.
a
Beaver Bay is the
subsection.
second
sorry.
one, so you were
Okay,
talking
so
about
these are-
Westfield,
Yes,
and
Talk
now
about
you,
what?
now you have a second transaction, different buyer, different seller, and a different survey. Do you have the Beaver Bay
okay,
one in
no,
front?
we were approving these two plats.
We were talking-
Those are
Okay.
Yes,
one of the same
were
essentially.
Proving just the
Okay,
one.
there's another one.
This is another one right here,
Yes.
correct?
you guys have worked
This is
with,
Beaver Bay.
this is Beaver Bay, you guys have worked with Mr. Walter, and actually there was a different set of commissioners when we started this development years ago and did our lots from him, so this is the last chunk. And somebody would like to buy all of it, but the family, Mr. Walter has decided to keep a little bit for himself and his family, so we've surveyed off just a little portion, and that's why you see the survey happening today.
Is that the piece that's just south of that slough? Where they did dirt work, the county did to the north?
No, it's close to,
Through
that's
that
across the
big
road.
draw?
Yeah, it's across the, yeah,
Okay, all right.
that I believe must be on core land, the county's work,
That's a lot hard.
That's
Yeah.
a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is to the south of that, correct?
Yeah.
correct,
Across the road. Okay,
Yeah.
and on the east side of the road that goes up the hill.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. And how many acres does that consist of?
It was 121 and now we're down to about 100.
Okay,
And the reason it jots in there a little bit awkward is just allowing that access easement over there so that we didn't have any issues with that.
So this borders the main road coming,
Yes, Mount Lane,
so.
the infamous road.
is that right up against 1804?
Now it sets back a little bit.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
You've been describing a lot of words better than the commissioners lately, you're pretty good at that.
yeah, well,
The
thanks.
infamous road is the proper way to describe it, also known as the road.
Yeah. I love my job.
Josh, you don't see any issues with this, like it all
No.
meets all the
There we go,
requirements?
perfect.
No, that one's good too. Yeah, cause that is breaking off of the northeast, right?
Yep.
Right.
Right in there.
Yeah, I don't have a drum that has on that.
But it's all gonna be developed.
I would anticipate you may hear from somebody in the future about lots. There's some really nice flat lots up on top that could be developed that are really nice and you've already given easement to those, so.
Very good.
It's a nice piece of property.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I just need the water to come up a little bit.
Yeah, development's awesome
Yeah, you
out there
need
until it gets
water.
valued.
Yeah.
Development's great out there until
If
it's
you could do
valued,
that
then
today,
everybody
that'd be
hates it.
great.
Weeds now,
That would be
probably.
great, but
It's all gonna get developed and then planned.
I'll make a motion to approve the plat as submitted.
Mr. Mayor makes a motion to accept the plat.
I'll second.
Second by Vanderhorst. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. We'll have to go through with Russ. Road Super County Road Department.
I'll get the guys.
Mr.
Thanks, guys,
Chairman,
for coming in.
I would maybe suggest that you let the University of Mary guys go first, just because they are here and we are way behind time.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
No
we'll back
offense to
that
Russ,
you.
but I, those guys probably made a pretty long trip to get here.
Russ loves to sit through this crowd.
Good morning, Chair.
Morning, guys.
Commission, my name is Kevin Dyke, I'm a regional president with the Rivera Bank in Bismarck, and I'm with me, Paul Keys, the Assistant Vice President of Mission Advancement at the University of Mary. I'm not sure if you received, or Marlis, did you include in the packet the summation of what we're gonna talk about? I do have copies if I can pass out, if that's acceptable.
Did we get some, put this up? Thank you.
Thank you.
Pull that mic up tight. I said, pull the mic up close to you.
Thank you, first of all, for allowing us time on the agenda today. I think it's marvelous. We had some conversations over the last month, and it's always good to be back in my hometown. But I'm going to let Paul maybe take off the conversation and talk about what's happening at the University of Mary, and I'll follow up with the financing request that we're looking at and the bond request for this commission. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, thanks again for your time. I wanted to just take 2 to 3 minutes, basically to paint the picture about what's happening at the University of Mary today. If you've driven by the university recently, you've noticed that we're under some major construction these days. And in the summer months is the prime time to do that, when you have a couple thousand less cars and a few hundred less employees to work around. Nonetheless, we're in a large capital campaign called Vision 2030. It's a 15-year comprehensive strategic plan that began in the year 2015. It's set to sunset in 2030, so hence the name Vision 2030. It was in 3 phases. We're in the tail end of phase 2 of the project. I just wanted to speak briefly about what we're doing right now. When you go by the university on the south entrance of the campus, we're constructing a new addition to the oldest building on our project. It'll be a bump out to the east at the midpoint of the building, and it'll be our welcome center. A welcome center is something a lot of colleges and universities have, and the purpose of the welcome center basically is you need to have an obvious front door to your location, a place where prospective students and families who show up to visit the university know right where to go. And once you're there, you walk inside, you have the first 2 to 5 minutes or so to create that great first impression. For the same 17 or 18-year-old student in the region that all kinds of other institutions are vying for. And so it's very important. You'll be met with great Benedictine hospitality by a couple staff members there. And then all the essential student services that a prospective student or a current student might need are going to come to that location. So there'll be a number of renovations to the existing building right behind the Welcome Center. The Welcome Center is going to be a 3-story structure, mainly glass and fieldstone. It's going to extend out about 25 to 30 feet from the existing structure to the east. It's about a $13 million project, start to finish, and that includes some landscaping and road work along the way. In addition to that, we're building a new residence hall for women. It's a 3-story structure, 232 beds. We have 2 kind of bottlenecks currently at the university. One is housing and one is parking. They're 2 good problems to have. That means your enrollment's strong, and it's a desirable place for people to come from all over the place. We've had students from all 50 states and several countries, several of the last 10 years or so. So the demand is far-reaching, but nonetheless, the residence hall is about a $20 million project these days to get that done. We just built one 10 years ago, and it just gives you a sense of how our enrollments just continue to climb. Thirdly, we're also building a new research and performance center It's a 3-story structure on the east end of our current field house, our athletic field house on the far north end of campus, and we're gonna have academics and athletics come together to research capacity. So many of our programs in our School of Health Sciences are gonna migrate over there. And the academics and the scholar athletes are gonna work together. It'll be programs like athletic training, exercise science, kinesiology, physical therapy, things of that nature, will all be there. Within that research and performance center, it's gonna be a number of classroom spaces. It's gonna be a very large weight room, about double the size of our current one. Some locker rooms and coaching offices, et cetera. And then lastly, in addition to that, we're building a large athletic complex, bringing football, women's soccer, back to campus. It'll be a new football stadium. It'll seat about 2,500 people right along Highway 1804. It'll be very beautiful. And to the south of that, there'll be multi-sport air dome, very large air dome. It'll be the home field for women's soccer inside of it, running east and west. It'll also be the home field for women's fast pitch softball, running north and south at its midpoint. About 250 feet wide, 400 feet long, and 83 feet high at the apex. It's gonna be very large. And then it'll be able to be used by the communities of Bismarck, man, and local areas for youth events and other things, so they can rent it as well. And then right below that will be a track and field complex, a new one, and then some green space for some existing expansion. But nonetheless, those projects are all underway right now, except for the Welcome Center. It's the last of the four. We're kind of working north to south. And in addition to that, we're redoing the roadway through campus and nearly every parking lot on campus. We did 2 of them last year, so they're done. The rest are all kind of being tore up and manipulated right at this time. So we've been speaking with local municipalities in the area, places that just have a strong connection to the University of Mary. Emmons County itself, we currently right now have about 25 students or so attending the University of Mary from this county. We've had 6 presidents in the university's history, 67 years old. The last 3 of the 6 have Emmons County reps. From 70 to 78, our president, Dr. Harold Miller, Strasburg, North Dakota, born and raised. And then all of a sudden, from 1978 to 2009, Sister Thomas Welder was president for 31 years. She's the longest tenured female college university president at the time. She was born in Linton, North Dakota, and has roots in the far east edge of this county and Logan County, and she moved to Bismarck as a young girl. And then lastly, Senior James Shea is our current president. He was inaugurated in 2009. He's been in the position for 17 years already. At the time, he was the youngest college or university president in the country at age 34. And he's an amazing visionary leader. We have several staff members that live in Emmons County, including myself. And there's just a strong connection. So we're in the process of securing $60 million in bank qualified tax exempt bonds so that we can do major progress on these projects this summer. I'm gonna let Kevin talk a little bit more about the various aspects of bank qualified tax exempt bonds and maybe some of the other municipalities in this area that have already agreed to participate. But that's the background and the reason why we're here, and thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you, Paul, and thank you again, Chairman and Commissioners, for having us here today. As Paul mentioned, we at Rivera are working on a $60 million funding vehicle for the University of Mary. We're partnering with 5 other local community banks in Bismarck to provide that funding. And we're approaching the county and various cities and municipalities to utilize, as you're well aware, each county and city has $10 million of bonding authority that they can utilize for either local projects or to help nonprofits in the area if they so desire to do that. With the University of Mary being a 501c3 nonprofit, these projects qualify for bank qualified financing. And the reason we pursue that as a bank is we're able to offer much more attractive rates to the borrower because our loan to them is free from tax. On the interest income we would generate from the loan, we get tax-free, and some of the funding sources that we use to fund that loan also become non-taxed as well. So we're able to offer the university a better rate than we could in the open market, and also still attract a positive yield, acceptable yield for us on a tax equivalency basis. So with 60 million, we need, you know, at least 6 municipalities to be on board with this financing. I'll reiterate, there's no financial obligation to the county or city. You're basically the conduit financing that allows us to pull this off. We've done similar projects to this in the past, in which Emmons County, not the county itself, but cities in Emmons County have been supportive of. That would include the St. Mary's High School that was built back in about 2017-18. We had various participation from Emmons County cities in that bond issuance. We had it's a heavy week for meetings down here. We had meetings in Braddock, Linton, Hazelton, and Hague yesterday. So we had attendance at all of those, and they all went very well. Linton, Hague, and Braddock have all indicated a large interest to help. Hazelton is interested, I think. They're just kind of working through some kind of determining what other projects they have and what it's gonna maybe retract from their ability of their $10 million. We do also have other communities that we're approaching. This will likely be, well, it will be a two-phase closing, just because of the timing. As these bonds are issued, we have to wait 15 days between issuance by every municipality. So it does kind of take a little bit of timeline because we need at least 6, maybe 7 or 8 total municipalities. I'm not exactly aware of what you may have already utilized from your bonding capacity this year as a county. I will say Strasburg, I didn't mention, but we had their meeting in May. They were very positive. Interesting enough, at the same meeting, the care center was in that meeting as well. And so they dedicated a fair amount of their bonds to the care center, which makes sense in that community. But they certainly wanted to support the University of Marion project as well. It was just the timing of it. They had committed most of it. So my understanding is the care center that's being proposed in Strasburg is now fully funded with Strasburg's commitment of their bonds and the long-term care facilities that they can get through North Dakota for the financing of that. Burley County has committed $8 million to this project as well. They're the host jurisdiction, so everybody that every other municipality will attach to Burley County for this bond issuance. And again, we would expect our first tranche of funding would close likely late July, and then the next tranche of municipalities would jump on probably in September timeline. So again, today we wanted to be here informational and maybe get some feedback or answer any questions that we could on what we're up to, and why we're here requesting bonding authority from Emmons County. Again, we're a lot of connections here, as Paul has mentioned, and with the university being only 60 miles away from here, we figured this is a good county to be in front of. You know, a couple of you have heard our spiel last night already, so thank you for listening to us again. But we would certainly entertain questions or comments from the commission.
Go ahead, Eric.
John Martin is kind of our county engineer. Do you foresee us needing to bond any projects with anything coming in the future?
I don't believe so, there's nothing scheduled, so.
Okay. Like just in the immediate future, that's not a part of a financing package for another project we're thinking of? Okay.
And it resets every January, so the city of Linton, we did 10 million, we gave them last night, we didn't foresee anything either. Anything that, usually that has that large of an amount.
You didn't give them, you assigned your bond quantity, I would just careful with you.
We committed.
Don't want to be on the front page of the
We committed our $10
paper.
million to them, and just because the fact that most of these things, you're gonna have 3 to 6 months tied up in all kinds of other stuff before you need that money, and so yeah, we did as a city.
So these are basically like a low interest loan coming through like the Bank of North Dakota?
No, it's being financed by Rivera and other
Okay,
banks, so
purely,
it's,
okay.
we just have, the federal law, the way it's written, we have the ability to offer a lower rate to a nonprofit organization through this conduit financing provided by the bonds issued by the municipality.
Okay, so it's not like an intermediary through another bank and you're just.
No, and that was kind of the important thing, not kind of, it is the important thing for us and University of Mary. We've been partners for a number of years, and University of Mary certainly wanted to keep the financing local if possible. It's great economic, for us as a banking community. And it's not just Rivera, I said we're including 5 other banks to partner with us on this financing. So it keeps those dollars local versus issuing bonds that may be held by, bondholders maybe all over, the state or country or beyond through brokers. So we are committed to buying all of these bonds as the bank, and then we will participate that with our banking partners. One thing I didn't mention, and thank you, Paul, for pointing it out, there is a fee that's paid back to the municipality for allowing us to use their bonding authority. Yeah.
What's the benefit?
So it's typically $1,000 per million, so if you were to commit 10 million to it, it'd be a $10,000 fee back to the county. That's
For the time of you're using this bond, correct?
I'm sorry.
For the time period that you're using this
It's a
bond.
one-time fee, so when the bonds get funded, you would get a $10,000 fee at that point in time for the 10 million.
The
So
benefit to the county would be that we're helping out at.
Right, I realize we're helping.
Yeah,
But
I
I was
mean-
wondering if there's any benefit
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
this sort.
there's financial benefit and then just the kind of the giving back in terms of you have this capacity to utilize. If you don't have projects that you need it for, it's a good way to be, neighborly and help in terms of the university's cost of overall financing. From our perspective, there's a little more work up front when we go through this process. Obviously, we're going to meetings and we're doing a lot of work on the front end, but the long-term benefit, their interest savings at a minimum in the first 5 years by going this route is at least $1 million for the University of Mary on this financing, because it's a large dollar, obviously.
So this bond is tied up for a period of what, 10 years?
From the county's perspective, you're just using this for this calendar year. I mean, there's, yeah, so it's prepaid over a number of years, but there's again, no financial obligation of the county or anything like that to issue it.
10
Well, I'm gonna-
10 million resets every January for every.
Right, I'm gonna cliff notes this, and you can correct me whenever you can. Basically, statutorily, 501c3s, government subdivisions, everybody are allowed to bond up to 10 million per year. If you wanna do more than that, you have to basically secure them from someone else who's not utilizing their 10 million, and it restarts every year.
Yep.
And that's just a statutory limit that you're allowed to bond that. There's no requirement that you have to. There's no requirement that if you surrender them to another entity that you have to pay any of it back.
Okay.
There's just a pool, everybody's allowed to use it, you all get your dividend. If you don't want it, you can assign it to someone else.
No,
That's the
I
cliff
think you
notes.
summed it up very well. and
Good, well then I
that's
understand it, I feel better now, cause
I would assume that this county probably helped out with St. Mary's.
the county itself, and so, we had with that one, see my notes here, we had, Linton, City of Linton, Hazelton, Wilton, Lincoln, and Burley County on that one. So that was a $37 million issue, so a little bit smaller than this one, so we didn't have to tap as many municipalities that time. I can't say for sure if we approached Emmons County, it seems like maybe we did, the county itself. I know commissions change, and I know you have elections coming up, but, you're not saddling the next commission with any financial obligation or anything that's gonna cause them an issue, because this is, I hate to say, it's kind of a one and done. I mean, if you're interested in this, you issue them. All the documents are completed by the bond attorneys that the University of Mary has hired. We can, I mentioned this, and I don't know if Joel may appreciate it or not, but Scott Wagner is the legal counsel that Rivera has worked with over the years. He's been around the bonding world for many, many years. He's very highly knowledgeable in it. And he's probably willing to issue every municipality will need an opinion from council that, it meets all the requirements and all those kind of things. I believe he'll be willing to do that if you so ask him to. You can certainly use your own counsel if you prefer. From the perspective, it's sometimes easier to have one council doing that for all the municipalities, but that would be your decision. If you're comfortable with that, I think he would be willing to do it, but you would have to, we could request that through the, I don't know if you have any comments on that or feedback, but.
No, I mean, all the bonding projects that all the cities do, we always work with a bond attorney, and generally it's been Scott, probably the last 5-10 years. Before that, I know Linton used somebody else before that, but Scott's a good guy, so.
Is there a public hearing requirement or something to?
Yeah, that's good. So the next, good question. You kind of lead me into the next part of the process. So today is again, informational meeting. Again, thank you for having us and listening. So informational meeting, if the commission so desires to move forward and would like to offer either their full amount available or some portion of that, the next steps would be the bond attorneys would be in touch with Marlis as the auditor. They would issue what's called a TEPRA notice hearing. So that has to be issued in the county paper for 2 successive weeks before. And it has to be, I believe it's a week before the hearing, if I might be wrong, but it's 2 successive weeks that it has to be published before the next meeting. And then that's an opportunity for public comment at that hearing. It's called the TEPRA hearing, that's just the legal name of this whole bank qualified bonding legislation. So that would be published, again, the University of Mary covers the cost for that, so there's not a cost to make that publishment in the paper. That meeting would happen, if you so desire, then in July. We could sign a bond resolution at that point, if it's approved. And then, again, depending on the timing, there's about 4 pieces of documentation that go with this. It's bond purchase agreement, again, the bank will be purchasing all the bonds, the bond itself, a loan agreement, which is between us and University of Mary, and then the intergovernmental agreement, which is Burley County serving as the host jurisdiction that you're gonna tie into as the host jurisdiction. So that would be the next steps. If all plays out, we could do that in July, if that's acceptable, or it could be August, I guess, as well.
So how many bonds do we have in Emmons County available, if I can ask, is that dumb?
Emmons County is 10 million. is-
10 million we have.
Then the city of Linton has 10 million, Strasburg has 10
All
million.
municipalities have 10 million, okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
That's just like a
Just for
statutory
clarity.
limit that you can apply for, like,
Okay.
that's just what they limit you to, and that,
So you come to the public hearings now?
Yes, we would have representation.
I was on the city council when we did St. Mary's, Linton helped out with St. Mary's, it's the easiest $10,000 an hour you'll ever make in your life.
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
and I was gonna
it's-
say, the only real risk to the county is that we would have limited or no bonding capability between now and the end of the year, which,
It's not
just
protection.
asking
There's-
John's question, we have no real plans
Yeah.
for, so the risk is almost nothing. I mean, really, like, we don't have any immediate
There's no
plans.
financial risk to the county.
Okay, just had to ask you.
And that's an important point, that is in your document there, it's written into the legislation explicitly, very clearly. The issuing community county does not guarantee the debt, does not agree to provide financial support for the project, now or in the future, and the legislature has prohibited counties from having any responsibility for payment, so.
Okay.
Again, it's
I just
really a
don't
risk.
wanna commit
Yeah.
something, and you into the whole, from here on. moving
The only
forward.
risk is, again, if you had a project that popped up,
Yeah,
between
and
now
we
and the end of
could-
the year.
We could,
which-
sorry to interrupt, but we could go with a smaller amount as well.
We'll
You
just
know,
say
if you
probably
want to do 5
unfortunate.
or 8 or 7, whatever.
That's why I mean, it'd be limited or eliminated depending on how much you, like, if you wanted to get 5, you'd still have 5 million bonding capability if you would need it. Again, for the foreseeable future, in the next 6 months, I don't anticipate we're gonna be using it, I mean,
And most of the time, something that requires several $1 million takes.
right, it's not gonna happen in
Way
30
through the
days, right, you're right,
process,
right.
Engineering and all
Yeah.
this other stuff, so I really honestly don't think, I mean, I think we could commit the whole 10, but I really don't. We get new bonding authority in January, so.
Okay.
That's
Any
my,
other questions?
So do we need to make some kind of a motion to formally agree to this so we can at least start the
I
process? Is
think
that,
we did last
We
night.
do, right?
Yeah, I think it would be,
Probably healthy
it
to
would
do
be helpful if you would. To us, well, thank you.
well, I
So
would,
is there a motion?
I would
somebody?
make the motion for Emmons County to proceed with the process of working with the University of Mary on a bond agreement.
Is there a second to the motion by Mr. Magrum?
Second.
Second by Gartner. Any more discussion in regards to the,
Well, just to remember that we're agreeing to just proceed, we're not
This is
agreeing to
just
anything,
on
this
an
is just to
amount, huh?
continue with the process, so if.
Well,
Just
I
to move
think,
it forward.
Right, so if someone says, well, you went and already know it, it's not like that, this is like step B. Step A was them showing up, B is us doing it, there's probably 7 more steps
We
yet.
listen to you, we accept.
Exactly, so that, just to be clear, we're not
Yep.
accepting anything, we're just agreeing to proceed.
So somebody will be out, they're gonna hear some.
Oh, yeah, no, you're
No
good.
doubt.
What month would this take effect then if we did that?
Yeah, it would depend if you're in the first or second rollout, but if, the TEFRA hearing notice will go in next, the earliest issuance of the weekly paper, depending on the deadline, in two consecutive weeks, there's a TEFRA notice in Emmons County Record right now for the city of Braddock. Next week will be the second week, and, we're gonna have the resolution hearing, real soon, at that municipality. But nonetheless, this could happen as early as your next meeting in July. If we get these in 2 consecutive weeks, and voting on the resolution can happen at that time, if you'd like. And, at a regularly scheduled meeting, or early if you desire, but it's isn't mandatory by any means. And then, when the paperwork's signed, we'll be in the process of cutting a check for up to $10,000. That's the hope, but ultimately it's up to the decision of the commission.
I think it would be nice if we could tie it into our next meeting.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you can get it in there, we can tie it.
How long does it take to get the $10,000 check submitted? How many steps are there on this?
Right, no, we'll push that quickly, but I would say within 2 to 3 months, unless there's some outstanding parameters I'm not aware of, but you will get it quickly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the only, it would be, I believe it would be when that bond, so we're gonna do 2 tranches, I mentioned one probably in late July, depending on the timing of the approvals, and then the other one in September, so at the latest should be September in terms of getting that fee back to the county.
Okay.
Whenever they're issued, that's.
Are we gonna be able to make it there till?
Probably not, that's why I'm asking.
So if you're ready to spend it, then we could have a special meeting for the next, TEFRA hearing.
Sounds good.
well, it sounds like, I know the university is a real asset for the area, and their reputation is tremendous, job placement and, quality of education, so. I think it's a good cause.
What are you guys doing on the north end? Is that a sign that's going up?
Yeah, yeah,
Angle?
yeah, there'll be, yes, there's gonna be a monument sign there on the north, and, we'll have, I think, a little bigger, more grander entrance on the south when we're done, but you're exactly right. And it's set for completion in, early October, I was told, and obviously there's a number of things going on to the south of that.
So is that where the complex is gonna be for this housing for the ladies deal on that north
It's-
end? Because that entrance coming out of there, my family got killed, someone coming out of there with no lights, being it's lit up,
Right,
coming off of there at night, coming down that hill with no lights.
yeah, it's a great question. The new residence hall is kind of in the heart of campus, but on the southern half of campus.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll be taking the south entrance to get to that new project, that's right.
That's such a beautiful view where that's, university's located, it's unreal.
Mr. Chairman, we have a motion and a second, I think we should call the question.
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much for your time, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I maybe make one
Sorry.
clarification, sorry, so considering to proceed, do you have kind of a maybe dollar range that you wanna talk about or not at this point in time? Just to help us with our
I
planning.
think for the sake of the process, I think all 10 million would be on the
Okay.
board. I don't see any reason to withhold any unless someone else has a better reason, I don't.
Okay, I just wanted to, thank you
Yeah,
for that, I wanted to clarify, just as we plan kind of our putting together the.
I'd say I would plan on the max amount unless something different comes through the public hearing process.
Yeah. Okay,
Is that a fair assessment, am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so long as.
Yeah, no, I think.
I don't have any reason to withhold any, is my point.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else has a good reason, I would say with that.
We wanna make the chairman happy. and the full
If we run
10,000.
into trouble, in the meantime, we'll have
Well, I
to
was
just go
just
to another
gonna
county and ask them for their 10 million. and
That's true.
Then we have to take the 10 grand they gave us and buy it back from another county somewhere, we'll find it.
Appreciate it, thank you very much,
Thank you.
and thanks for moving us up on the agenda too, I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely, great day.
Don Dykeman, independent contractor on board to hold.
Well, we didn't even have Russ yet.
You wanna speak first?
And John's here, so we should probably get John rolling.
Yeah.
How do you wanna do it? You wanna be first, Russ?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, come on up, Russ. Now Dyke was up, poor guy. Let Dyke come on. I gotta go. He's older than me.
He's negotiating.
Respect me. Hey, Ron,
Rubbing a little behind.
there we are.
I got quite one.
Independent contractor, Mr. Dyke.
Yes, sir.
So if you're in a bind, we should be able to negotiate a pretty good price here, shouldn't we?
My humor's not real good today.
So I know there was some discussion about Ron as far as being independent and being a county employee. And I think independent would make him drive his own vehicle, he can't get mileage, kinda was a bit of a pain.
I think it's a bad deal that he's independent, because if you fall out there and get laid up, you're on your own. And I just feel that you should be, what do you wanna say, a contracted employee like we've done in the past, haven't we? Just like, so that he carries a
Yeah, I mean, we've
liability.
got seasonal road department employees, it
Yeah.
seemed like most, I
Same deal.
mean, it's the same exact thing, and then at least you fall under some of the DERF coverage for, you know.
He could
You
use
got
Tahoe, he could use the Tahoe.
Covered under workers' comp.
Under work.
Well, right, I mean, just the variety of different coverages that we have, at least as
Yeah,
a
that
seasonal
would be
employee,
fair.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you wanna do, what do you feel comfortable with, Ron?
Oh, kinda like your part-timers or whatever.
Yeah, I would think that's better.
Yeah, he's working on comp.
Yeah, right, you got some coverage.
Russ, what do we start like a seasonal employee at?
2614, right?
Something like that, yeah.
I believe is the going rate.
Too much?
Well, Rockefeller said
Well, your
they're
eyes,
for
your
more.
eyes kinda went up, I didn't know if that was, wow, that's too much, or that was not quite enough.
Next tax bracket.
Because they're starting July 7th. That's
They
the
are.
tentative date, yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice probably to have you on board a little earlier, maybe, I'm thinking like July, I mean, I don't.
Start the first part of July, right up to the fourth.
Just to,
After the 4th, would that work for you, with family, you know?
Pretty much, she might have a doctor appointment on the 13th, that I gotta drive to, because of something.
So are we furnishing a vehicle, or are we paying mileage for him to use his?
Furnish the Tahoe, I would say.
what about time?
Furnish the Tahoe, then we don't have to keep track of.
Or do we have
mileage or-
something out there that you could give a try?
I think it's tough for him to run his own vehicle on mileage. When it's gonna be, say, 100-degree weather, he's gotta sit
I mean,
in the vehicle and run it, and you don't
we
get
could do
mileage.
Tahoe too, but I'm just, then we take away from.
Am I right?
Hour meter.
Too much.
Wouldn't be very healthy.
No.
We'll figure that out.
There's vehicles sitting, don't
Well,
we?
no, that's what I mean, the question is for the
Just
sake
all
of
figure
this
it out.
negotiation, like, if you're gonna provide a vehicle, you don't have to decide today, but are we providing
I
a
think
vehicle?
we're
or paying
providing a
that?
vehicle.
Okay, and if
Yeah.
that's gonna be the consensus, then at least we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Not that 2 weeks from now, then,
Yeah,
you know, all of a sudden, it's like, well, whose vehicle am I
Yep.
taking? Well, I think at some point,
But he'll probably have to come and pick the vehicle up here to take it, right?
Right.
Every night, every day,
I'd say almost has to. Yeah.
yeah, it has to probably.
Do I like it? No, but what do you do?
And then you put, Russ, what does he do from a gas, he fills at a certain spot or?
Bills at Martin's.
Mark?
Fill out at the,
Martin's here.
you can fill out at the shop too.
Okay. Okay.
it makes sense to me if you're gonna treat him as a seasonal employee to put him under the road department.
Yep.
And then that's where the vehicle would probably, whether it's a pickup from the road department or the Tahoe, I think you just take it to the road department, at least for the
Yeah.
time being.
A lot of parts.
Russ would be his supervisor to at least just the clocking in and clocking out and things like that, and, you know, and then you could.
He's an employee of the road department.
Exactly, that's what, it'd be no different than hiring a gravel truck driver right now, it seems to be the easiest segue, you know?
The other
Are you
reason I
okay with
asked
that,
if you
Russ?
have the vehicles, cause I know they're having trouble with one of the Tahoes, so we're really kinda down to one. And I don't know if he's had it fixed or not, or if he'll be able to get it in before. That's the only reason I asked if you had something. I mean, we have the two Tahoes. If we get the other one fixed, he could certainly take one of those.
There's 3 top cars, so that should work too.
Yeah. I don't think- Like, we're gonna let it go
Authority
around
should
with
not.
lights on.
Get him a sheriff.
Put the
deputy,
light
yeah.
on, really.
I mean,
Give him a
So,
bullet for sure.
do I clock it at the county shop or?
I would
I'd
say
say
that, I mean, it makes the most sense to just, cause otherwise you're coming in the courthouse or you're coming into, is Marcy supposed to take, no, I think you're gonna be a seasonal road employee. Your vehicle would be out at the road department, that's where you clock in and clock out, you get your fuel out there, and then Russ is, Russ is the department head, at least your immediate
Yeah.
department head, so there's just supervision and direction.
That's
And
who you'll
then-
talk to most anyways, Russ, if we have road issues, you know, cause that's
Right.
kinda what you're doing.
I mean, for the
besides-
most part, you're essentially working for the county commissioners anyway, but it makes the most sense to put you under that department. That way, at least there's some responsibility to it, you know, and then, and kinda go from there. I mean, that makes the most sense.
I think it does.
Cause for the most part, I mean,
It's gonna be 10, 12-hour days or?
Well, so.
I don't know, we just
So
gotta get a
remember when we
feel,
met,
right?
we talked, okay, so
Like
what
7 till
Alan said out there
2 or
was,
something.
Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, they're bringing in containers and batteries, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're bringing in transformers or something else, and they plan on trying to get them to hold up and then show up from like 7 to noon. So I think, like we kinda talked, maybe a 7 to 1 or 2 to start off with and work yourself 5 days and 40 hours, and if that doesn't work out, you might have to change your schedule a little bit. I mean,
It's gonna be just getting the feel of it initially coming in.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
there's
see what they're
nothing-
gonna do, it's gonna hinge on weather, everything.
yeah.
there's no
Rains,
guarantee
then
that they're gonna
obviously
show
they're
up.
shut
in
Pardon?
4 hours.
If you get a rain,
Yeah, they're gonna be put on stop.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, right.
And they're gonna try to talk to Senex in Hazelton and probably here in Linton somewhere to hold these trucks and then bring them on. So
I
they
think
can haul it.
all of it's gonna be in Hazelton.
Is it?
Yeah, and
Yeah, cause I think that's their route, they wanna
Yeah.
go down 34, right, I think.
well, you'll know mostly if they're hauling, they'll be driving right by your house probably, so I mean, if you're like, hey, they lied to me, like, you probably know. 'Cause they're gonna-
You just don't.
just park by the mailbox.
That's what I mean, so I think in the meantime too, I mean, you're gonna probably build some relationships with some of the site managers. You're gonna be able to know, like, if they tell you, like, they're probably gonna be done hauling at 3 o'clock today, unless you don't trust them, like, more than likely, you'd be like, hey, I'll be done at, 3:30 or
Just tell them
something.
you got 3 residents,
best judgment.
one on 11, one on 34, one down on 13, and you live right on 83.
Yeah.
Just off. The wife, but yeah, that's what it would be.
So Ron will be checking permits.
Yeah.
Jan,
And he has
road
to bring these
commissioners,
permits in, a
not
copy of
us.
them every night. How does that work in this permit?
Well, he's gonna have to coordinate with Marlis more anyway, because Marlis is the one that approves those permits, she'll have a log of them, and then there'll have to be some kind of a check against it, just.
Check
It
it
shouldn't
out.
be overly difficult, because next
If
year
I
is
get
guys.
back before she's closed, I suppose I can.
Right, I mean, it doesn't have to be hourly, if Marlis approves 20 permits in that day, you should be able to verify that there's somewhere between 15 and 20 permits, and the 2 or 3 that are missing is probably a logistical error, and you know what I mean, like, it's gonna be just like taking inventory of anything else, I mean, it's not like there's gonna be 1,000 loads in one day, I
Let
mean,
me
it's.
ask, let me
Are
ask you
you,
this.
do you know how, are you good at a computer? I can give you my username and password, you
Not
can want
the
us to check
greatest.
them every day too.
Put them into a computer on your lap. You
Oh,
don't give
They
a-
kinda made it sound like they're gonna haul like 6 to 10 a day is what Alan kinda made it sound like, but I'm sure it's gonna be really how far everybody gets and they're all gonna stack up and.
Well, and
The
some,
weather plays
When I
into
approve
that.
them, I'll just make copies, how about that? When I approve these permits, I'll make copies of them,
Good.
and you can just stop in my office.
Well, can he get a copy of this with a computer? Or on his phone?
If I would give him my password and my username and password, he can go on and just check them if he wants to.
And you can also get that, couldn't you, Russ?
Yeah, Russ has
yeah,
capability of it too,
there's
yeah.
countywide access.
Should be all integrated.
Paper copy.
Well, we don't have to negotiate every aspect of the deal here, Ron can coordinate with Marlis on whatever they think's the most efficient, I mean, it's gonna be Russ, Marlis, and Ron on it
Yeah.
really, cause any issues that Ron has, it's gonna probably go to Russ, cause he's the superintendent, his supervisor. If there's damage to the road, Russ needs to address it, if it needs to get addressed even more, then if it's a legal issue, it's gonna go to the sheriff's department, but it should probably go from like Ron to Russ to someone else, and then same with the permits, Marlis, and, I mean, that's how we coordinate it, so everybody's keeping track of it.
Yeah, I
And like you
think,
said, there's gonna be 6 to 10 loads a day, but some of them guys are gonna apply an hour before they need it, and other guys are gonna do it a week ahead, so you might get 30 one day, you might get none the next, so you're just gonna have to work with each other on how to, what's
And I
the
think
easiest way to,
biggest question is, are you content with starting at a seasonal wage and there's kind of your boss and there's your other boss, and does that work for you?
I think I could live with that.
Okay, thank you.
or still
Okay.
don't, right?
Next,
Let's just see how it's going.
I've known both of them for
yeah.
15 years.
I know we just kinda talked about making sure that you were good with being, being a seasonal employee, basically. We'll provide the vehicle, and does the salary work for you, and if all that's good, then we're moving on.
Yep.
Okay.
Go to your appointment.
When does
I
this,
think I should have more, great, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Does he have to sign it?
yes, when is he
We'll
gonna
all take
start?
more, will you work for that?
When does he start?
Good question.
July 1, right? No, after the 4th, you wanna start right after the 4th?
That would work.
Right after the 4th?
It's not real, it's like simply my little hand project.
Fourth is on a Saturday.
Starting the 6th? Start the 6th?
Ron,
That's
why don't you
Monday?
stop in the office and talk to Jody, she'll tell you what you all need to bring in. I texted her, she knows what you were talking
Start Monday the
Stop it
6th.
now, or-
about. Stop on your
After
way
your
out,
appointment,
stop
okay.
into, talk to Jody, she'll tell you what she all needs from you.
Got it.
She's gonna need social security card, driver's license, and some date of birth and stuff like that.
Find a blood.
My grandmother's maiden name.
Okay, thanks.
alright, well, I mean, just for the sake of clarification and transparency and everything, I will make the motion to hire Ron Dykma as a seasonal road department employee. I guess that's it. I mean, really, I mean,
Do you want,
I'll second.
just as long as we, or do we need to put a sunset on there, or just as long until the project is complete?
really seasonal, so I guess we
Seasonal,
can
so
kinda
we
let
can
him go
play it
whenever we
safe.
want. I just,
Alright.
basically, we can define the parameters of his employment, but I just make motion to hire Ron Dykma as a seasonal road employee.
Is there a second of that?
Second.
Second by Miller. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks for coming in.
Good luck in your appointment.
Thank you.
Okay,
Um,
what do you wanna do? Russ, you guys want Troy Cavendish or Hanson?
regarding this assistant.
He's not here, Troy Hansen's not here.
Tell me.
Okay,
No.
Russ, come on
I
now.
think Troy's just available by phone if we need anything,
Oh, okay, okay.
so.
We pretty much took care of it. If it's in there.
Yeah.
Morning, guys, John's here, I can just let him talk on the stuff he needs to cover, if that's okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. I'm kinda here for two things. Maybe the first thing is the Cattail Bay, Road Cement Stabilization Project. We had a bid opening yesterday. Unfortunately, no bids were submitted. So we have some options. We could rebid the project completely as is. Or we could, change the completion date to later. We had September 18th this last time. It's talking with the, contractors, that was maybe a little early for their schedule. So I was thinking we could push it back to October 16th potentially. Another option, we could even, and this would put more work potentially on the county, we could take the gravel portion off. So basically, we would have one contractor in there doing the cement stabilization. And then the county could gravel it after the fact.
Question for you. I was approached by two guys. Cement stabilization. But we're putting gravel over the top, what, 4 to 6?
6 inches, yes.
Because I was approached, they said cement stabilization when it gets wet. If there's not enough gravel, it'll turn to snot.
Yep,
And it'll solidify like cement
yep,
on your vehicles and you'll trip it off.
yep.
Is there merit to that?
Oh, yeah, there is, yeah.
Okay.
You gotta get gravel on it, yeah.
Okay.
So what would be your recommendation, John? Should we resubmit it with a later date, or,
Well, you don't wanna go too late.
well, that's the
because-
thing
That's the
with
thing with
cement.
Cavendish Farms.
But I mean, October, I don't think they start digging in yet, would they? October
And
fifth.
just September, the first of October, aren't they?
I really don't.
They're lifted spuds,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
oh, yeah.
Well, and I mean, I wonder what the
Then we don't.
traffic with this new facility is gonna be down there, not that it's not gonna be non-existent, but it might be substantially lighter with this new facility.
Oh, yeah.
Going down there, cause they want that operational for this fall, so that may take some pressure off Cattail Road, it won't, I mean, completely alleviate traffic on it, but I'm just looking at you for a recommendation, what you're thinking is.
You need to speak to Cavendish, I would feel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna get another bid unless we push the completion date back. And if we do, the bid's gonna be very high. Everybody knows, obviously, nobody bid the first time, so.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't think we have a choice then, other than to push the completion date back a little bit. And then we're gonna have to contact, I mean, at least to get the bid process rolling again, push the date back, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna work, but we can talk to Cavendish while that's out there circulating and possibly get some bids.
What happens if we don't get another bid? Even if we do what we're talking to do, which you're gonna do.
Well, then we could try and bid again with something else. Or we could drop the project if that's what you wanna do too.
But then the bond is lost, right? Or the,
The 300,000, would be lost, you know.
But if you can't do it right.
Well, or if you pay 20% more because they know you
That
over,
you're
you know, I mean, you're not really saving any money anyway. I mean,
No.
but do you think there would be any value in trying to bid it this winter for like a April through July timeline?
We can't because it's for this, the funds have to be used this year.
This year.
Right, but I mean, essentially, we're missing out on $300,000. Right, I mean, that's the issue with the Cattail
Yeah,
project.
yeah.
But I mean, if you overpay by $400,000 more,
then you
because
lose
there's
it,
only one
yeah.
guy that bids it to do at the end of the year, you didn't save any money anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, but we don't have to accept that bid though, that's the deal, if, I mean, we could push the start date back, re-advertise it, open bids if there are any. And if they try to soak us because it's late in the year, or they know that, hey, I'm the only guy
Right.
doing this, and they're gonna be suckers, then we just say, we'll lose the 300,000 and we gotta look somewhere else next year, you know?
well, I'm just saying, like, if it's in this situation, is it maybe a better idea to just re-gear and try and just,
Do it next year.
do it again in the
I think
spring?
you're- I
Can
think
you
you're
bid
at
a
least trying to
project and
save
then
the
get
300
SRF funding for it?
No.
You can't.
Be available next year.
Well, it might be available, but I say we at least try for this year still with the 300 grand, and if it falls apart, then we reapply.
Yeah, like you said, if it does come out like it's absorbing the cost, we just decline the bid, I guess. Cause otherwise, like you said, if you don't bid it again this year, you are letting that SRF funding go.
So is Russ, the gravel gonna come from Vanderbilt then?
The plan was to bring it from a different area,
Oh,
To
from
get a
up
little
here by
better.
Hague?
a little better clay, clay base into it.
Yeah, the plan was we would have 4 inches from Vandervoorst, and then the top 2 inches would come from somewhere else.
Oh, well, that would, you know, I mean, how long do you think it would take to gravel it?
that's a lot of gravel.
Yeah, and,
You gotta lay that in layers, right? Gravel normally?
it's the manpower thing again.
Yeah, right,
And-
you're already,
Even with this culvert, I mean, you shut these blades down for 3-4 days and they get behind,
oh, I know.
it's
a
tough,
nightmare.
you know, so.
Yeah, I
It's tough,
think
that
too.
culvert out there is laying open with what happened in Strawberry, with that heavy rain.
Can we use our guys that you kinda got lined up to haul gravel this summer too, to help that?
Yeah, they would definitely be part of that, yes.
I mean, that'll help, yeah,
Yes, it would, yeah.
but we still have our own 2 trucks that, yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of roads that needs up to the, that's what I'm thinking, you know? Yeah, Aaron's right, you know, if sometimes you spend more than, you're gonna get out of it, you know, people.
I do agree with Commissioner Gardner, though, you're not out nothing to probably rebid it other than the cost and the time to rebid it. And you might get a competitive bid or several, you just don't know what the weather will do or what people will do, but it's a tough spot, so I mean, you might as well try and,
Try it.
I mean, relist it and see what happens, I guess, cause we do have funding approval till the end of the year,
So,
we should try and utilize
John,
it.
how much higher do you think the bid's gonna come in?
I don't wanna say for sure,
No,
it's gonna be higher, I mean, it's almost,
yeah.
Well, if it's an exorbitant amount, then we
just can't do it.
we just, lose the 300. I just hate to give up 300 grand in a grant and, not at least try to save some of that money, even if we lose a little bit of it, we still have that money, whereas next year we might not have that money available, so. And then we just go back to the drawing board if it all falls apart.
Well, I guess I would make the motion to re-advertise the bids for the Cattail Road project.
with a different completion date, or just keep
Yeah, okay, that'd be fair, yeah, re-advertise it with a completion date of October 16th.
16th, yeah.
Try that.
Okay.
There's a motion, that, somebody want to second it?
I'll second
No, partner second it.
it. No matter.
Any more discussion?
So we're re-advertising with a deadline of completion of October 16th. Okay.
Second by Gardner, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We got another thing here, anything else, Russ, go ahead.
So, I don't know if we should start, this is the US Fish and Wildlife stuff.
Is that up there on that, up north by
On the
Braddock?
Braddock grade race.
Okay, you guys are representing that deal, okay? Okay.
I guess I can kind of start the background of it.
Go ahead.
You know, we got that grade race project that we're on this summer, with Guff Miller. As a part of the project, we impacted some of the easement wetlands along it. Obviously, we widened the road and filled them in.
Yeah.
So the county has to purchase easements in another location to mitigate for it. And that's what these guys are here for. They submitted an agreement, and the cost of the county to do this is $9,550. But that's gonna be reimbursed through the flex funding. I already got that approved. So there's really no cost to the county to do this.
So they had to get the easement or the mitigation, up north by Carrington to offset this water.
Correct. I
Bottle. Use it.
don't know if you want these guys to step up and kind of talk about it.
You certainly can.
Is that the item that we tabled from last month?
Yeah.
So that's the same, okay.
We just absolutely, we didn't know what it. We weren't certain on that, but I thought it was mitigation, but for clarity, are you, what's your last, who's you here?
I'm Eric, this is
You're Eric Weber?
Mia, and then we're realtor specialists, yep.
Okay. So come on up and discuss it or explain it to us.
Good afternoon again. I'll introduce myself, but I'm Mia Hannon. I am the Fish and Wildlife Service Exchange Coordinator for our region, which includes North Dakota.
Yeah, I'm Eric Weber, realty specialist out of Bismarck, who is kind of spearheading this exchange.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Sean Lofgren. I'm the project leader of the Central North Dakota Complex, which includes the Long Lake Wetland Management District.
Good.
I believe Marla sent you guys a couple of documents that kind of does an overview of the possible exchange here.
It was last month.
Yeah, that was last month.
That was last month.
Last month?
Yeah.
It was last month. I have this one here. You just sign it, you guys.
We took, Eric, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, just if you guys have any questions relating to those documents or anything that we can.
Well, we looked at it, it was between Tammy Miller, a single person from Carrington. Here installed as the grantor, Emmons County here installed as the impacted party, then Renbolt Brothers LLP of North Dakota Limited Partnership, and Abbott Land Enterprises LLP, a North Dakota Limited Liability Partnership. That was the question on this street, that we questioned why so it's going on. And Abbott owns adjacent property or the land right up against us, correct? On both sides?
Yes, the Appert Land Enterprises on the east side, and then the Remble Bros LLP on the left side, the west side of the road.
And the reason why their name is in the indenture or why you just said their names is because those are the landowners of the property that we're divesting, so that we're getting rid of due to the, road grade work. Yeah,
Because of the slope coming down in,
yeah,
and impacting their wetland holdings.
yeah, and so they just have to be aware that, you know, we're taking part of the easement that they haven't, you know, that we have an interest in, out of easement.
What's wrong with that?
Phone was ringing, nobody knows why, that's why we were.
It's a cemetery deal. I think our biggest confusion was we just didn't know exactly what was going on at the time and
Is this
with all the
drain or
land being
what else?
swapped and moved around and stuff that some companies don't want.
Big question mark circle.
We were just like,
Concerned that they were draining this out or what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
We're lagging behind.
So what do you, it's just being offset, this wetland that we're taking, they bought wetlands up in Carrington from this gal by the name, this single gal.
Correct.
Whatever her name is here.
Yep,
Yeah, Tammy Miller.
yep, she's a willing landowner that would take an easement or have a Fish and Wildlife Service easement on her property, so.
Okay, okay, okay.
and we're basically just, we're not draining this whole thing, we're just taking some of the easement for the grade raise.
Just because of the fact that the shoulders is taking some of the wetland.
Yeah,
The road's gonna take.
They did it on Highway 83 when it was redone.
Exactly,
And then what they had to do is go into the ditch and dig a hole and create mitigation. I know the contractor from Minnesota was in my instance, and that's something.
Well, that's all I think we needed to know. Sorry-
Yeah, right.
Sorry that you had to come all the way down here to
No.
explain that.
Yes.
We're happy
Give
to
us dummies
answer
an
any
education on what's going on, but it's just, you know, like I said, with all the stuff that's happening in all these counties, people get a little freaked out when you're.
A little bit
you
concerned
see something that.
because of the water that's laying there, data centers, and everybody was a little bit concerned as what's really going on here, you know?
No,
Lack of knowledge is what it was.
and that's why, yeah, anything we can do to help answer
Well,
those
we're
questions.
glad you're willing to do that.
Yeah, of course. This is very confusing, and so, yeah, that we're here anytime, so.
Okay, any more questions, anybody?
No.
Clear as mud. Okay,
Perfect.
thank you for your effort and patience.
Yeah,
Thank you,
of
guys.
course.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
Do you need a motion to approve?
we need an emotion, we're gonna have to, yeah, we'll need a motion to approve this item that was submitted last month. Second?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve
Okay, I'll second.
the litigation.
Okay, Chair Vanderwerf makes a motion to accept this document that was submitted last month, and we're hereby looking at it day to day. There's a second by Miller. Any more discussion? If not,
So you need approval of this mitigation part along with approval of the resolution for the, cause this is the same, this project is the same, the resolution, we're having to accept the bid.
this is the same
That's the
that
bid
was,
for the grade raise.
Oh,
Yeah,
from the
resolution.
DOT, the federal.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a resolution to accept.
this
their-
one right here, right?
So, yeah, that's two different things.
Right, but
It's
you
the
need
same
two
project.
separate, you need.
Same project, but affected the same.
Yes,
Right,
so two resolutions, yeah.
okay,
So you need two separate motions.
yeah, so we need one, like you said, a motion to accept that mitigation plan,
Yeah.
We need a motion for the,
land exchange for.
on the land exchange from there
Yep.
to Carrington to bring, to take up or bring back here
Yeah, well, my motion was to accept the mitigation. Right.
of last month.
Yeah.
That was submitted, second by Miller.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried and accepted. The next one is a resolution that was submitted to us this morning. Bid of the amount, did you guys read it? Everybody's okay with it? Is there a motion to accept the resolution that was submitted?
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion by Miller to accept the resolution that was submitted on the project that it pertains to. We just had a motion on that. Is there a second to it?
I'll second.
Second by Gartner. Any other discussion?
John, any questions or concerns? I mean, Buck Miller checks out and everything's
Yep.
qualified.
We've actually done another grade raise with them in the past and it worked out just fine, so.
They're good.
Yep.
Okay.
What day do they start?
That's a good question.
Okay.
We'll find out after we approve the resolution, most likely.
Is there a motion to accept the resolution?
Yeah, there's a motion in a second, right?
Second, all good, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All good.
That's all I have.
That's all you have? Thank you all.
What day did it have to be completed?
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
John, what day did it have to be completed by?
There was no date.
It had to be,
There's gotta be a
It's
deadline.
like November 15th, I think.
oh, I got lots of time.
I don't
It's
know. for
usually
sure.
the beginning part of November is almost always,
Yeah.
so I would say somewhere between the 1st and the 15th or something.
I would guess they'd start late July or something on it.
Okay.
And the road's gonna be closed down during construction also, so.
Good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, John. What do you got, Russ? Go ahead.
Other than that, Jeremy Holzer started yesterday as a blade operator for us. Just so everyone's aware of that, so we did hire somebody, he's on board and out blading right now. He had prior experience with Morton County, like 9 years as a blade operator, so.
Well, that's a good.
Yeah, it was a one, yeah, it helped us out quite a bit. The Hazelton Culver project, needs to be fabric and rocked yet. The lowboy tractor went down, so we can't really move our equipment back and forth yet to get that done. That's in Bismarck, they don't know what's wrong with it. So we're waiting to get that truck back, I guess, to get that project completed there, so, okay. Other than that, we got some storm damage we had Sunday night down by the Strasburg area, west of Strasburg. We were down there yesterday, cleaned up some stuff. They are graveling them areas today.
Oh, is it on that?
Yep, so that should be, within the next couple days, we hope to have that stuff back and.
Can I ask you, did you go down with an excavator at all to try to pull with your mini X to pull some of that gravel up on that side, on these roads or not?
We dug into it a little bit yesterday and stuff.
Mostly dirt.
It's that wash sand, it's again,
It's just.
the quality of it is not, between the creek silt and stuff that comes out of them creeks like that, and it just turns into
muck.
Yeah,
It's amazing the road held, huh?
yeah, we didn't actually have too major damage on the road itself,
Yeah.
which was a good thing,
Actually, boy, it must have come over there like.
Did we have any roads wash out?
Not to my knowledge.
I mean, we might have a sketchy looking culvert or two, but we're
Right.
not really closed down.
We got one dam close going to Wild Dam on the east side.
Right, but I
That's
mean,
right on the edge, I mean, it's steep where that water came in.
wasn't like that deal up by Braddock though, where we lost half a dozen
No,
roads, it wasn't
no.
that, okay.
Unless we don't know about one yet, but
There's more
As
coming.
of now, we don't.
There's more coming tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Major rain, oh yeah.
so yeah, that's pretty much what I have for the month, I guess.
What area is, Holzer working in?
He's up here actually on the Tenvic on the.
He took it
Al's
around this area?
He's running Al's blade as of now until we figure out what's happening there, and then we can adjust accordingly if Al does come back.
He kinda knows the area, he grew up in this area, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's from Lytton here originally, yes.
That's a plus.
So, that's all I got unless you guys have some stuff for me.
Yeah, just a comment, Russ, I agree with you. Russ needs another man there, we're gonna have to have another blade, somehow we're gonna have to find another funding somehow to get another operator out there, I know it's tough, but,
That's been a discussion for quite a while, and, we've tried different things, like, if that southern part down here is really, really hard to cover, that trek from the shop out to the cattail and, vice versa.
That's just a ton of roads out there.
It's
That's a big area.
It
And
is.
if it rains, and then if Russ has another project going, like you said, you pull them off, and then you get behind and.
Pull them off up there in that big culvert up there by Hazelton, these roads get.
Then the
The
road,
grass starts
and then
growing.
they never catch, yeah, and that did happen with some, they went and the guys all did a good job pulling that in, but then they couldn't get back, and it all grew. Well, they still got it, but it made it harder for them to smooth it out,
And then it's the farming in that area, the farmers, I should say, the one guy called in just as a courtesy call to us and asked if we could hit the road, he's gonna start hauling. He said he had 150 loads to run down to Pollock,
Yeah,
And some of them other guys are even bigger yet, and I mean, right, so
yeah, I know,
that almost constitutes a steady machine on them roads, just to try to
Yeah.
stay with it a little bit, you know, but,
So you have one operator in Braddock,
yep,
2 in Hazelton.
yep.
You got 2 out of Linton now with
With him, there's 2, yes.
Jeremy and,
If Dustin Huber comes out of Lytton and goes west,
okay. And then Strasburg, you got
Mike Kelch, Cody Renner, and Jerry Lowinger.
the 3 in Strasburg.
Yep.
yeah, but they each have miles.
Yeah, they're all up in that 120 to 160 miles, just depending on the operator.
I would say you have a 150-mile average, cause you got 8 operators to 1,200 miles, just
Yeah, right.
simple math, give or take, that's, yeah, you're at 150 miles blade, which is
We
probably
got-
about twice as much as anybody ever recommends.
Yeah, exactly, like,
Well, I mean, it's true, right? I mean, under 100 miles is kind of the rule of thumb.
yeah.
Ideally, anybody that's really, you know, feels like they're succeeding is probably in that 70 to 80 mile range.
Yeah, we get compared to Camel a lot, and I know they're way less than that.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's why their roads are in better shape.
Well, generally too, in some of them counties, like even McIntosh, they have a lot more paved road than we do too, which I can tell you one thing, if you've been to Burnstead lately, paved road, if you're not taking care of it, huh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that has gotta be the worst road in the state. I don't know how anybody can say anything different. I mean, having paved roads in your counties is a whole nother animal too, because if you don't have the
Yeah.
funding, look how expensive it is to fix going by the golf course up to the county shop. Now imagine if you had 100 miles of that, you know what I mean? Like that's.
yeah, right, we couldn't afford it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, sometimes those comparisons are unfair, cause even in Burley County, like Old 10 is a county highway, you know, yeah, it's great to have pavement until you gotta fix it, you know, so.
The 183 on the north side of Bumner Lake, it's starting to break out on the east side.
So I mean, that's where like, when you get compared to that too, those counties that maybe are at 70 miles per blade, they also have 300 miles of pavement too.
Yeah.
We have 16, so we naturally are gonna have more miles per blade, like, not to say you don't need more or less, I'm just telling you that comparison is not fair in a lot of ways too, so.
Wells County, I think they had, what they say, 75 or 76 miles of pavement. They can't maintain it.
They
They don't
can't.
have money.
Well, that's what I'm saying, the
They're
reduction,
not lifting it.
a lot of these counties don't have less road, they just have less gravel, but that's
Yeah,
a whole nother
But now
animal.
they're-
Exactly, so.
Look what Campbell did, coming on the state line.
yeah, they.
I mean, they lifted it and then they laid it back down with gravel.
Yeah, they.
It's a gravel road. It used to be tar, like by the Union School.
But it doesn't change the fact that we're still at, you know,
A lot of money.
yeah, we're probably close to double, I mean, even if you wanted to get to 100 miles a blade,
That would help, so.
you're probably 3 blade operators, if not 4 short, really, if you wanted to get to 100 miles
Yeah,
per
we
blade.
really
I
are.
mean,
Yeah,
that's,
'cause you
it's
got-
been like that since,
From
I mean,
forever.
I mean, you had just had a conversation, well, I would say a couple hours ago, but it feels like it was 10 minutes ago, but I mean, you have people that are unhappy with the amount of taxes they're paying as
Yeah,
well, so
right, so.
you can't, I mean, yeah, it'd be great to have 12 blade operators and nobody would be really that unhappy about the roads, right? But what does that cost? You know, and we've ran into problems before where we're actually maxed out on some of this spending to where you couldn't even raise the funds, you know, you're capped out on your county road and bridge mills, like, you couldn't just double them if you
So-
wanted to, so you have natural barriers to that too, so.
So overtime probably, as long as they're willing to work, some of the guys.
And there is guys taking advantage on Fridays, not all of them, we haven't mandatory it yet. And, you know, I mean, we can start pushing it, I guess, or I can start pushing it if you guys think that's a
Yeah, I
thing,
mean,
it just,
That's expensive too, but I mean.
Well, I can just tell you, in the defense of why everybody always thinks I'm such a jerk sometimes when I wanna say no on these projects, it's cause the blade operators we're not getting any more blade operators, but we're always adding road, we're always adding projects,
Yeah.
well, that math doesn't work out, that's why
Yeah.
trying to, you know, reduce your responsibilities to try and get back in line with it, because we're not gonna hire 4 blade operators, cause
No.
we don't even have 4 more blades if we had 4 more.
No,
Could we
don't
add 1 or
buy the
2? I think if we really dug hard enough, maybe you could find a scenario and try to get to 9 or 10, but that's not even gonna be easy, so then the obvious answer is you gotta try and reduce some miles somehow. I don't know how you do that either, cause no matter who you reduce, someone's getting hosed, so I'm just saying, that was always the difficult decisions when somebody wanted a section line bladed or some road that we were. It's like, well, that's kind of an easy answer because we've already ran into the problem, we can't even maintain what we have, so.
No.
So that's why a lot of people out there think I'm a jerk for saying no, but that was my reasoning, it has nothing to do with personal stuff, just. You can't go up to 1,300 miles of road and not add more guys and equipment, it just doesn't work, so. Then you have one event like this, maybe piggyback by another one this week yet, and now everything Russ was gonna do this week, that's all tabled because he's doing stuff we didn't even think was gonna happen, so it's a constant battle with it, but.
Can only imagine what would happen up there at Hazelton if we'd gotten this 5.5 inch rain in that culvert place. And we don't have it ripped back on that east side. That'll wash right out of there. Don't you think?
I prefer not to think about it.
Yeah, we gotta stay on the positive side here.
Huh?
Try to stay on
I
the
am trying to
positive
stay
side.
real positive.
But yeah, I mean, that's the trouble.
It's
with all
there,
this
but it's
stuff.
not done, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the positive side, the guys, you know, bringing them in, bringing that berm off the edge is really helping. You know, you get that rain and the roads are drivable, you know, actually, yeah.
And
They're
next,
getting a good, pretty nice ground on them.
next year it should get better yet. They need another round to get some of the
Yeah.
edges, you know, they can only get so much at a time, but it should continually get better with it, so.
Yeah. they're good.
A request that I had, or a concern, or whatever you wanna call it, was 24th Avenue, which would be right on the county line.
Yep.
So it's always kind of, and I'm a little loose on it because I don't really know, it must've been between the superintendents and the blade operators and everybody, but it was always kinda like a road that just gets jointly kinda cared for by both counties. And it seems like some of the guys out there that live out there feel like maybe one is relying on the other one and it's not getting taken care of the way it should.
Where's
Okay.
24th?
So 24th would be like the one that would go about by like Chris Weigel's and way, it's literally the county line. 24th is like the divider between Emmons and Logan, the east side of the county there, so.
Okay.
And that's where, you know, I think like you'll have like, that'd be part of Gar's route, and then I'm not sure from Logan County, and I don't know if they were always supposed to like meet maybe at a certain street or.
Oh, yeah.
Cause I know some of those guys that talked to Logan County, and then John Wald claimed that he's been working for years trying to get it sorted out. I've never talked to him, but I don't know who he's talking to, so.
He did call me here about a month ago and
Okay.
talk to me about it.
Probably after he got chewed out by those guys, cause that's when I heard about it, was a couple weeks ago, so.
And then the consensus was kind of what we agreed on is, he had said that too, that they kind of reshare with them more, you know. So we were gonna do the blading, he was gonna supply the gravel and the trucking, and we were gonna do the blading,
Okay,
and, you know, to kind of even out the
Expensive.
thing.
so you kinda have something worked out.
You got
at
a
least.
plan.
We did, and then I talked with Gar on it actually, and Gar was just going out there that next week, and he went out there and he said it actually bladed up really nice. And he felt it was adequate, so we kinda left it at that, but if somebody's concerned, we can,
Well, I think it's like anything, I think when it's dry, it's probably fine, I think when it's wet, then obviously the trouble spot, there's probably some spots that need some attention where.
okay,
I mean, just, can't, you know how it is, you can go over a road 5 times, if it don't rain, it don't look bad, and you get one good rain, so
we can get up there and put some gravel down.
Well, I
and
think
stuff
just as
like
long
that.
as you guys have something where we're all on the same page, cause it's kinda, again, like coming back to these edges of towns where who's responsible, they tar it, no, we just need to get up something, like, if we're supposed to do it, cool, then we need to know it, and so, like you said, if Logan's gonna help gravel it and we're gonna blade it, as long as that's agreed and that's what's happening,
That's good.
that's all, like,
Gar was aware of it and stuff like
Yeah.
that, of how much he takes care of unless there is a miscommunication there, but he
Well,
said, you know.
and that was the only thing, was just to make sure it's getting communicated, if you guys have a line of communication and you're working on it, whatever you're doing, as long as it's working, and you know, them
Okay.
guys don't all storm the gates here in another month, wondering what's happening, so. Cause that's what'll happen if nothing gets taken care of, so.
Okay,
You hauling any gravel, Russ?
yep, Nick and Nick are both out every day that they can here running.
Starting east a little bit.
We are out in that area right now, actually, we're south of town here, kind of, well, we're down in the storm area there, right by Gary
Oh, yeah.
Daniels now.
Well, right.
And then we gotta get some way back in there by Jade Souter.
Yeah.
That's really bad back in that area, they've been waiting for,
Oh, Sure.
And then from there, we're gonna go straight south and start on some of that stuff where we ended up last year, or we didn't get to last year, so.
Good.
Just west of there is, George Schumacher's place.
Yeah,
That's right at that Ron Mossop farmer out by
Yeah.
Mark Weiss.
yeah.
I know part of that kind of deviates to private, but there's section line there for a while. I know that was pretty rough this
Yeah.
spring if somebody
Yeah.
takes a look at
I
it.
know,
That's that's a good one, because the blade operator went in there to blade the road going in,
Yeah,
going to the north, and he basically chased the blade operator back out and said, just leave it alone.
never mind then.
Well, but at the same point in time, and I agree with that, but at the same time, we don't really wanna lose a road because we're letting it.
I just remember right on the turn going to the west, I think there's a culvert there.
Okay.
And that seemed like that was really getting, just, that probably needed a little material and some work. And, you know, like, I mean, I understand some of these folks, when it's in decent shape, they feel like you should stay off it, but like, if you start to have a hole get created, and like you said,
I can swing in there and talk to him once or something like that and just tell him we might add some gravel. I don't think he should have any issues with
Yeah,
that.
I just know I was in there probably around February or March, and it just seemed like it didn't, it's not like it needed immediate attention, but at some point, it's one of them roads that probably doesn't get a lot of action, cause
Right.
there's one guy living on it, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's still, still county right away for a handful, a mile or two there, so.
What did you do with Daryl Holt? When he called, Daryl Holt called about it.
We just talked, I mean, we have to get there, but
Okay.
it's,
Another tough one is from Sayre, young Sayre North, where young Schneider lives. Holy crap. There's no gravel on that at all.
Oh, you mean, that would be what, Main Avenue?
Main
That's
Avenue,
right.
yeah.
Off of 60, yeah.
That's a tough one.
Well, and that one's really not that bad a road, other than the same deal, there's like 2 or 3 low spots on it always that just rear their ugly heads, but.
Did you ever get a chance to talk with Mossets about that?
I have not.
Yeah.
They're
In your spare time?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, no doubt.
No, I mean, all the bare roads and stuff, we are aware, and I mean, the operators say it just.
Yeah.
We're hauling, we gotta
Yeah.
Tough deal.
keep picking away at it and keep going is all we can do, so.
Yeah.
You please some, and a lot of them are still upset.
Yeah, yeah, right, you get
That's just, you're not gonna please all, that never happens.
So you're gonna have Jeremy on Al's route, at least for the time being?
Right, yeah.
Okay, cause
that's good.
no, it is good, cause I was gonna bring up that with Al being gone, that route was really suffering on some of them hilltops, especially with the rains we had, we're getting some ugly
No
cuts
doubt,
that if you
yeah,
don't,
okay.
so.
Yeah, there's been, I mean, John was on it for a few days, but never did complete the route just because we were pulling him on and off, so. It's really never had a full round even put on it yet this year, so he'll stay out there as long as,
Good.
and just keep him moving on it, so.
Russ, keep Mary Ann, that culvert kind of money down there,
Mary Ann Honda.
She didn't call again, but she's such a sweet lady.
Yeah, and I did talk with her I think it was last fall or something one time, and kind of reassured her that the culvert itself is in pretty good shape, just
Yeah.
the sidewall there was,
I don't know if I could do something with the end there, I don't know if that would, really all it would need, but I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
What does it need, a dump of cement on that end wall, just you gotta seal it up?
The wall, it's like a block wall type or a big one sheet of cement there.
Because that's the old Highway 83, that's one heck of a culvert that they placed in there, that's still the old 83 corridor culvert.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and they handle a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't know either, I've looked at it too.
So Russ, what's the plan with, in the office?
The plan is, I've been actually working with Tanya, putting together an application and then put that out for, to hire someone to be in that office again and help with things. We've come across a few different ideas. She's got some people that she worked with from a few different counties. And she recommended, kind of using them for guidance and stuff like that to kind of have a similar person like that we're looking for there. So that's kind of the plan. It's in motion, when it's actually gonna take place. It's just a matter of doing a little bit more paperwork and talking with her basically and stuff, but,
So you're looking at hiring,
Administrative assistant.
Basically, yes.
well, and
Yes.
so what I'm kinda wondering there is, you know, you took John, who was a blade operator at one point, and you would send him out when you needed him, or you do this, or you do that, and then we're talking, we're short people, it'd be nice to have a couple more people, but we don't have the funding. I'm wondering how much further behind we're gonna get, you know what I mean? You had a guy that you could send out to do a culvert, or he could drive truck, or he could blade, not, maybe whatever. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And now we're gonna hire, you're looking at maybe an administrative assistant, and I'm wondering how that's all gonna work out. If that's gonna put you further behind, like I said, we just, 10 minutes ago, had discussion about could use a guy, and now we just we had a guy leave the county, and you're talking, and I'm not saying that you're not on the right path, I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
I had kinda thought maybe, and I don't know, I had kinda thought maybe we were better off hiring, if we needed another blade operator. With that salary, and then it would be easier probably to find money for an administrative assistant, or maybe just an administrative assistant, and we go the way we're going, see how that goes. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, cause I wanna know your thoughts, and I wanted to know basically what the plan was, and.
Well, that's kinda what you're doing now, right?
It is, yes, and that was in motion before this actually took place. That was kind of the thing, to bring in someone to do the secretarial side of things, as well as a few other things around the shop, and get John to the full operator position. So it's, I guess, basically still the same plan, I guess, in my mind.
Well, I know, but we don't, so I'm wondering though, like I said, we had a John who could do some of those things, and was basically paid like a blade operator that had been there substantially, and I assume your administrative assistant is not gonna start off where John left.
Right.
The county, and I'm wondering if you don't have an authorization from us to hire another blade operator. So if we fill a position with an administrative assistant, I'm wondering, and I'm not just putting this on you, I'm putting this on everybody, I'm just bringing this up to everybody, what direction we should be going, or what might be the better direction. And I'm asking the commissioners as well, you know what I'm saying?
So that brings up a good point that probably should get straightened out sooner than later. Who does have the authorization to do this stuff? Do I or don't I? I mean, if I have to come and ask for authorization, then that's fine, that's what we do, but we should get this straightened out, because the way I've interpreted it from before and from every other place that I've been and listened to, that the department head has that authorization to do that. We had some discussion back and forth where there was people that thought that I didn't. I mean, maybe I don't, but I would like to get it cleared up one way or the other.
Well, and I think we probably do need to clear up our books, and I'm not so much hammering on you about authorization. I'm just asking, we're gonna fill a position that was, let's just say, on our step and grade now, a 9, 10, with somebody that's already gonna be a 7, 1. And we're basically taking salary we have sitting out there right now budgeted for the rest of the year, and we're gonna hire somebody at half their position, and then we're losing a guy that you can send out, or a person that you can send out to drive truck if you need him for a day or two, or run a blade for a day. And I'm just, my thought was, we maybe would have been better off hiring another blade operator, and then fighting for finding 45 or 40,000 or whatever, an administrative assistant would start at. And I'm asking all of you guys your thoughts on this whole deal, and maybe I'm overthinking it, maybe we just hire an administrative person and we figure the rest out down the road, I don't know.
Well, I agree with you on that, Jim. I think that's a good route to go if you can make it. You know, because that would help. We got another blade, right? Or you guys keep the ones you do have going, right?
I mean, I'm just asking what the commissioners feel, and.
But I mean,
it's not so much about, I mean, we don't have another blade operator position, so in my opinion, if you hire an administrative assistant to take John's position, then the commissioners do have to figure out if we're going to allow you, because it would be a new position. That we, another blade operator, in my opinion. I'm not saying you can't hire an administrative assistant. I think that is your job. I don't wanna sit in interviews and do it, I can tell you that, but I'm just saying. I don't know what I'm saying exactly. I think we're in a conundrum and I think we have to figure something out. And I'm just
Well, I think
wondering
the
if-
question, the question more than anything, just to be in fairness to everybody, is just, what's the direction of the road department? And that needs to be more than, just the opinion of the road superintendent or just the opinion of the commissioners, because if you're gonna approve a position, like you said, we're at 8 blade operators, historically, that's been the max. We usually have 8 blade operators and 9 blades. Now, we've had seasonal people and we've had, but it's usually a dance with the budget because we're already over on the highway tax and we should have to supplement with another part of the budget. So once you're at that 8 blade operators, there needs to be kind of a vision, is the vision to get more blade operators? If you're gonna do that, you're probably gonna have to sacrifice somewhere else, and that was always like, was John the best fit for that vision? I don't know, that was always the vision we had right now, was like, he kinda did the office work, but man, when you need him in a pinch, he had a CDL, he could run a blade. Where if you're going to change that, you might have had 8 blade operators plus John, you kinda had 9, and if you had your superintendent, you might have had 10, at least for a week or two, or. So when you remove those from the equation, then like you said, are 8 blade operators enough now? Cause now if you have a superintendent that's not running a route, I'm not criticizing that like, well, Russ should be out running a blade. I don't think the superintendent should be.
No.
Now, after a 4-inch rain on a Sunday and the superintendent's out running the blade, awesome, pat him on the back, but come Tuesday or Wednesday, it should get back to hopefully sorting it out.
Right.
And then, then if you have a foreman that's maybe not running a route, cause he's trying to do jobs. And then you now have an administrative system, like you said, you're starting to get a lot of employees that you just aren't fulfilling that route like we're talking about and stuff too, so it's not necessarily.
And that's why I brought this all up.
Right, I'm just trying to word it like you're saying, I think like we're probably in this like division of roles where like we're supposed to just be supervising everything, but then in some ways we're supposed to just leave it to Russ, and it's like, well, what's the vision? Is the vision to get to 9 or 10 operators? Because you can't just do it, it's gonna have to follow some kind of plan, even with our hauling of gravel, right? Like, you went to the 6 county meetings, every other county told you were crazy trying to haul your own gravel, well, you're seeing, they were probably right, like, so now our vision is to try and hire that out more, and we're using our stuff for more temporary things or fill-in stuff. So that vision is trying to free up more room to do what? Is that to cut spending and cut taxes? Is it to increase it, but to provide more services? We don't really have a vision of like, we just want the roads to get better, but we never really had a plan on how to do it, right? I mean, the plan is just haul more gravel and blade more roads and just get out there. And oh, by the way, it rained 4 inches, so now you gotta go sort that out. Like, that is an unfairness that not just Russ, but every superintendent that's ever existed in this county. So I think we're all recognizing there's a problem. So probably the deeper solution is what's the vision? And then that vision needs to kind of be released on Russ. Like, hey, Russ, we probably have enough blade opera. Hey, we want 2 more. Like, we're gonna give you that authority, and then that kind of, cause you don't just want Russ out there making all the decisions, you don't want the county's commissioners just out there micromanaging the entire department, neither one of those are gonna succeed,
Yeah.
so.
And I think it helps Russ, when you can rely on us to help you with some of those decisions, because that full responsibility doesn't fall on the road superintendent's shoulders. You can, you know what I mean? I don't expect you to turn around and say, well, 5 other guys helped me make this decision, so call all them up. But that way, we're all making a decision together, and I guess kind of my thing that I brought last month or the month before, showing all these extra kids out in the counties and the need for bus routes and clean roads for bus routes, was possibly to go to a 9th blade operator. But I just think we were better off taking that position that left and making a blade operator into that, and then figuring out, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I was at, but I agree, we need to come together with a vision and where we wanna go before we continue to, I mean, I don't wanna tell you you can't hire, but I'm just saying we should come together as a group and come up with a vision of where we wanna go, like Magnum said, and then figure out what we wanna hire or what we need and then try to come up with the
Well, and
funding for it.
I really don't think we can hire anybody right now. My reasoning with that is we still have Alan.
You know what?
And we still have Al.
Yeah.
Like, we technically have 8 operators plus Al. And we don't know what's gonna happen there, so that's where I'm kinda getting at, like, you almost can't hire anybody right now because we're kinda running at max capacity until you
It's a
figure out
question
what.
mark and he's coming.
Right, but I mean, that question mark is allowed because he's someone who, you know, had a surgery and went on leave, and that's fine.
You know,
It is-
last month, we were talking about trouble with vacations and sick leave. How these seasoned ones have a lot of time they can take off.
Mhm.
Well, now you got a new one, he's not gonna have that time, so you'll have that much more,
Work
efficiency
time,
out of the work time. That he will not be taking off for 2 years, 3 years. So you get extra time from that, and that helps too.
Well, and that's where just, like you said, the vision needs to be, like, we all gotta be working together towards it. You know, it's not fair to just be like, hey, we hired Russ, now go fix the road department, and then
Dude.
everything he does, if you don't agree with it, then you're criticizing it, well, never really given a clear vision on it, you know? And then that goes both ways too, with, you know, Russ needs to make requests on what he believes he needs in the department to improve it. And then we all have to kind of, I'm not gonna say agree, cause we're probably never all gonna agree on the same thing, but there needs to be some kind of a vision, it can't just be 2 ships going in a different direction, otherwise this thing's never gonna work, it's just not.
Well, and I'm a strong believer that having John at his salary in that position probably would be better suited to have a administrative assistant in that position that could do some of that, you know, track the filters, the FEMA stuff, this, you know, the time cards, do all that. And save a few dollars, and then I don't disagree with you with Al on board, not knowing exactly if or when he'll come back. We probably should stay in a holding pattern as far as another blade operator.
Well, I just think for now, that's the
Yeah,
biggest.
could we bring on a candidate that has potential to be a full-time employee? Part-time, probably not.
The part-time deal, we might as well just throw that right out the window.
It don't work.
Nobody's gonna come at the age of 40, 50 years old and work part-time. When you can go elsewhere and get all the benefits, and it's all about the money, I mean, that's just the way it is in today's world, you know? So, a little bit of I don't even know many part-time guys to even come on board, to be honest.
Anybody any good's working somewhere.
Exactly,
There's no 48-year-old guy sitting at home waiting for us to call in June, I mean, it's just not.
yeah, that's a tough one there.
Yeah.
I do agree, the extra blade operator is definitely needed, whether we do it now, down the road, whatever, but that would reduce the current blades to 8 of them. That would basically take 15 to 20 miles per blade operator off of the existing ones. And that would bring our routes down to a manageable, not saying the roads are gonna come overnight perfect, but
it would help.
The repetition is a big deal, getting back to these roads that these guys are running with these semis. They just can't get back fast enough to keep them where they need to be, you know, so that's a huge deal. But it's also a huge commitment on the side of the county as well, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough.
But you kinda need someone to help with all the clerical part too, all the paperwork.
It would be nice, I mean, we're making it work with Marlis and her office.
Does your department, Marlis, help?
Morris would,
Like with
could
Russ?
use the help.
You
too,
could help a lot
probably,
with
so.
Russ, can't you?
And we have, we got some issues, but we're getting through them day by day, and that stuff should get a little easier month by month, so we'll just make it work like that, you know, so.
And with NRG, can that all be integrated? Like the courthouse with the auditors in his department, can we integrate
You know,
that with the
like
system?
network, you know, the program that they have out there was set up by Armor Interactive. That's when Francis Crum was the road superintendent, and he wanted, he wanted to have a program that Armor set up just for them. They designed that program for them. And, it's actually a good one. I think it was actually, John's nephews, Ibach's boys that worked for Armor at that time, that set it up for him. So it's not, it's not that we have to, network back and forth with computers. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. It's an Armor Interactive program that was installed on their computer out there. We've never had access to it. Never. So, you know, what I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't pay to network back and forth. It's a program that you have to have access to, and I think, Armor, or John, I think, could have given us access or whatever, but we've never had it. We've never-
John could have.
Well, I think he can give, I think you can give access to anybody, I don't know.
Are you talking
You know
about
what
for the
you-
timesheets?
Yeah,
For the
timesheets.
timesheets?
And there's actually other stuff you do on there. It's some FEMA paperwork, it's gravel inventory and culvert, and, cause I know the auditors that audit us now that we're in their role. They've had John, they gave him some instructions on how to do like gravel inventory, culvert, you know, and all that, cause they want all that too, no, but,
I just think this day and age, I don't know why we can't integrate it to create efficiency and more efficiency this day and age. I just question, I don't know. I
but
mean,
you know, and there's a
I'm not
lot
a
of stuff
computer
too.
guru.
A lot of stuff too is when like the snow removal, you know, I mean, John kept track of all the fuel that was used and everything else out there, we don't know what they.
Yeah, those
we don't know.
FEMA reimbursement, that's big.
And just that snow removal, I mean, when he brought all the paperwork into me, I put it all in an Excel sheet, and I sent it to the state, and we got $500,000 reimbursed, that was.
Well, if he's putting it on paper, why couldn't he put it in a computer?
It is.
Well, it is in the computer, she's just saying, yes,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
he's not literally writing it all
No.
down, she's just saying.
And it was Armor Interactive that set up that program for him. Francis wanted all this. He told them what he all wanted on there, and they actually just designed it, that program for, the road department out there. So we've never, I don't even know what it looks like. We've never had access to it. I mean, it's just,
We've never needed access to it, that was always the road department, I mean, cause the whole thing started the first year I was commissioner, and we had hundreds of frost boils. And we went out and just fixed them. And nobody kept track of the time, the gravel, well then later on, there became a program for FEMA reimbursement. And then Mary and John Ibach sat in, I think, the commissioner's room for days and tried going through all the different timesheets and trying to figure out how much of it was done, and FEMA denied, I think, all of it.
All of it, right?
Because they have a format. It's kinda like getting back to Dale Johnson's request earlier, like, you can do whatever you want, but if you don't follow a format, they're gonna recognize, they'll just tell you, oh, they either think you're lying, or it just, you know, they have no
It's good
proof.
for you.
And so that's why the whole parameters of that, especially when Francis got here, was John was gonna keep track of that stuff. And they were gonna figure out a way to track it, that's why we had the county cell phones with everybody could have GPS, that way when you went over a frost boil, we had a GPS coordinate, cause that was a big thing FEMA wanted. They didn't just want out on 68th Street, they wanted coordinates for any of these deals, and then they wanted any kind of quantities, so then we started tracking, we almost did it, that's why that big folder that Francis made.
Oh, yeah.
That, the reason for that is that was literally what that information, all that raw data went in to generate that, the frost boil on 89th or whatever, this was the GPS coordinates, this was the hours, the amount of equipment, the people. And it would spit out, you know, you would preload your, you know, if a blade was $150 an hour and gravel was $12, then you'd add your cubic yards, your hours, and it'd spit out that it was a $30,000 fix. And then you submitted that as a part of a package to FEMA. Well, then the next year or 2 years later, we had almost the same deal, and then we got reimbursed, I think, over $500,000. And so, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, it's not just tracking time cards, it's tracking all these quantities and doing it in a format that FEMA recognizes, and so that software, yeah, somebody needs to basically become the new access point. We need to get a hold of Armor Interactive, we need to have people in there that can take care of that, because, and even this situation, that, like, Gary Nagel's, that's a farm to market road, that's a CMC road. That needs to, that should be getting cataloged specifically, separate from the other ones. Because
it's a federal
it may qualify as a part of it, you might not know it for 6 months or a year, but you may be able to qualify for some disasters. So if this is the first of 7 rounds of horrible rain flooding, and the governor declares a disaster, or even if we do, then that's how you start cataloging your emergency reimbursements and stuff, so.
So you catalog that out there? You happen to just starting on like what happened there yesterday or the day before on that federal aid, was any of that documented?
Not yet, no,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, right.
I was out there
Blake?
working.
But I'm just
It's
asking.
hard to get it all, that's what we're talking about here, we need
Yeah,
to get
right,
some
so
more
you have
people on
someone that
board
could do that all.
to get this all straightened out again, you know, so.
But I mean, even if you're like cataloging some of them individual incidents, especially on like the major roads, is gonna be just because it might take till February to find out that there's some kind of program, you know, we could get reimbursed tens of thousands of dollars on that specific site, and maybe other ones that would qualify, that's why.
I mean, I'm sure all the information is still in that computer, I would say, or wouldn't know a reason why it isn't.
Right.
But it does take, again, if guy wants to sit in there and do it, that's fine, but we need somebody, or myself, or somebody's gotta do it. And it takes time and effort to get it all done, you know?
And you gotta familiarize yourself.
Right, I mean, Justin come in a few days here and helped out a little bit, a few hours a day, just to help out on some of that with the time cards and stuff like that. But there too, he's a blade operator that you're taking off to try to make it all work, so.
So as of now, you could use someone to fill that position. And familiarize themselves with that all.
Well, that's kinda why I was looking sooner than later, just because before it gets way out of hand. And then we have such a backlog to try to, but I agree, we need them both. That's just the short of it, you know?
If Al comes back, which he probably will, yeah, then you will have, you know, then you will have 9.
We would, you know.
Yeah.
If he comes back.
If he comes back, but he probably will well, depends on how he heals up.
But then if we go to 9 operators on the blade, we're down to that one culvert installer again.
Yeah, you're not really probably gonna run that direction, you're gonna use one of them as an
Oh, there
installer
you go.
culverts if
Well,
Al comes back.
You almost need that, huh?
Again, we need it all, we need, I've tried to balance it out the best I can, and they're just, without another guy or two, it's almost impossible to make it all go without leaving a blade or something sitting, you know, that's just the way it is, you need a person
You
in
run
the
out of
seat.
heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think that somebody in that office is probably of a very, very big importance. In my opinion, I mean, I think we have to. I don't think we wanna leave that position empty, cause I think it's very important to have somebody tracking all that stuff and. Yeah,
Right, but it's gotta coincide with the budget, if you already have, I mean, if we're at 8 operators. Plus, basically you and Ellingson, right?
Yeah.
10 employees total, so then what is that,
The 10 of you guys.
and then you also have Al.
Hold them sitting on the outside.
Yeah,
so
we
you-
could
you
derby
have-
11 with Al.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, like, you have to start measuring your vision with where we're at, like, that's where some of these decisions just need to be, you know, well thought out, it can't just be, well, we need to hire another blade guy, and then you go and like spit it out, and then it happens or it doesn't, or like, cause even right now, I mean, the first person we should be asking for these decisions is Marlis, like.
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, every year that I present the budget to you guys, you know we're short on highway tax. And I always transfer in from the permit fund. You guys, I mean, that's the biggest complaint that people have in Emmons County is the roads. And, you know, I mean, I drove a gravel road on graduation, and I said, I'm so glad I don't live out in the country, I mean, I'd be in the ditch all the time. And I'm just saying, you guys implemented a 3% fee on conditional use permits, and that money's sitting in the permit fund. I mean, isn't that what that money's supposed to be used for? To get these roads back into shape and.
Hires people to get it done.
I'm just gonna say, I mean, you know, I think some of these farmers out there would say, you got the permit fund money, now let's get these roads fixed, let's get these done.
They compliment that it's improving, but they say there's a lot of effort.
And you know, last week, all those candidates that are running for commission and everything are in the paper. I read every one of them.
Yeah, roads,
And
roads.
infrastructure.
Well, if I'm doing the math right,
I mean,
though,
I'm not putting you down, Russ. I mean,
No.
you're doing the best that you can with what you have. And we
Yeah,
all
you
know that. And you can't help when we get 4 inches of rain in 2 hours,
but if we math these numbers right, we're not ahead any further than we were before. We're actually still a person down.
Right.
Well, yeah, we're still way down.
I mean, Al's on the payroll, he's on sick leave. Jeremy replaced somebody, and now we have an opening with John leaving.
Right.
So if he hires an office person, we're okay.
Well, depending on what the salary and benefits are, right, that's what I'm saying, that's what these questions have to be asked.
Right.
It's,
I mean, if we look at a blade operator, then it's a different story. I mean, it would be the same story, honestly, but then you wouldn't have anybody in the office, which I think that office is probably.
I'm not against hiring anybody, I'm just telling you that, like, it sounds great, I mean, I'd love to put a whole fleet I'd like to get 12 blade operators, 14 would be great.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to figure out where we're at, where we wanna go to, and what's the best.
If we would hire a blade operator right now, that would bring us back to full staff. So then the difference would be their office administrative assistant or whatever you wanna call it, them or her, him, her.
Right.
So that would be the difference, because you could actually hire a blade operator right now, and the salary part more than actually would be less, because he's gonna come in at a lower salary than John left at. So that would just bring us back to zero, to ground zero.
But we have nobody in the office.
Right, so.
Which is probably as important or more, I mean, if we have some emergencies, and I think that office person is probably as important or more important than a blade operator at this current, I mean, if I was gonna say right now, as far as reimbursements for emergencies and FEMA and tracking our supplies and everything else, paying our guys, is probably more important than a blade operator.
Russ, did you talk to anybody in the lead board about having both of those positions together?
I did.
They don't wanna work with us.
I did, I talked to Leonard, I called him one night, and he said he had somebody interested in the position, just to do it kind of as a part-time thing. And basically said that they would take care of their own deal, and so that's where I left
They
that.
had 2 people, I think, interested, neither one of them have accepted that, neither one of them wants to do it anymore the way I used to.
See, and that would make the
So they don't have
position,
it.
She wants to be done in October, she'll stay on until they can find somebody.
See, that'd be ideal if you could bring one person and just integrate it, even though it says such and such.
right, and it helps justify the salary a lot more too, because that's what, I guess,
So I don't think that's gonna work.
Why?
The reason is because over the years, I mean, even when my dad was commissioner, your dad was commissioner, like the plan was always when someone retired, when someone left, you try and combine offices, right? Someone's getting paid $30,000 a year, you offer him 10,000 to take the job, you save 20,000, you reduce the health insurance, all that. I think we've reduced Emmons County down about as far as we can do it. I mean, even the days of living with 7 or 8 blades, right? Like, it wasn't long ago when you had 8 blades, that was one more than they were used to, cause it used to be 7. Now we're at 8 and we're realizing we don't have enough. I think it comes with this administrative stuff too, it gets very undervalued. What that tracking of those numbers is, even just for transparency in the budget, just someone that's keeping track of the fuel getting used, the gravel inventories, all those decisions have to get made based on that tracking. I mean, you don't do your paperwork, I mean, that's how business is, if I don't do my paperwork, I don't get paid, so. I'm just saying, like, trying to like combine it with the weed office and all this, I just don't, I think if you're gonna put someone in that road department office, you need to empower somebody that's gonna go in there and is gonna work at it and make it. Not somebody that's just in there 2 days a week and then, oh, that's right, I have a weed board meeting on Thursday, well, I just don't think it's gonna work. If you're gonna dedicate someone to that position and put that kind of importance on it, I think you just gotta make it a full-time person. I mean,
So
this
do we
is
let Russ just continue down the road with Tanya to work on trying to find somebody, and then we revisit the blade operator with the Al thing down the road, or, I mean, Marlis isn't wrong. Every candidate, everybody you talk to, everybody says the same thing, and if we do have a permit fund, which I don't wanna burn that up, I mean, I don't wanna sit on it like I'm nesting on an egg, but I don't wanna necessarily burn it up because I wanna burn it up. But if that's what the county is looking for, is another blade operator, and we have a blade, is that something we revisit, but yet we tell Russ to continue down, cause I agree with you, I think that office position is, right now, is the priority, and has to be the priority.
So
Tanya called me this morning when I was coming out of the field, and I talked to her at length. And she said she's got a couple of counties that she evidently talked to you about as kind of a mentor, where they've got office personnel working in their offices. She said it works phenomenal for them. And what, like you said, then she was drawing something up for you with her to submit this for, what do you want to say, open for the public,
right,
if they're interested in employment or not.
She's doing a job description for you, right?
Pardon?
Just doing a job description.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a plus to work with Tanya on this deal, and she's willing to help.
and we have been, we're working on it, you know, just there again, but we have to understand too that if Al does not come back, then we're still down 2 guys.
Well, currently, but if you hire, I mean,
So
that's the trade-off, if you hire an office assistant or an administrative assistant, and Al doesn't come back, then yes, you are basically short a guy and a half, I mean, cause John would come out and fill in. Who would be the other, that's what you're talking about, right? I mean,
well,
John left and Al's not working, so you're short 2 guys right now.
right, exactly, so if Al does not come back and we hire 1 guy, we're still losing a guy.
Right, which we deal with when we figure out if Al's not coming back or not.
Okay, I just don't wanna end up 2 guys down, cause that's.
Well,
right,
and that's what I'm talking about here. If you hire an administrative assistant, you have somebody in the office, which is extremely important. But you also don't have somebody that can go out and jump in a truck or work on a culvert or
Right.
get in a blade. And that's why I brought this whole thing up. What is our vision and where do we wanna go?
Okay, just so everyone understands that if Al was not to return, then we're actually 2 people, you know, or 2 operators down, I should say.
You lost John too,
Right,
you know.
so, I mean, bringing an office assistant on is very important, but that doesn't replace someone out in the field, I guess,
Right.
at the same time, so.
And that's what we have to figure out,
Right,
in my opinion.
yep,
See, John could do a little bit of both, huh?
he could, yep, yep.
Anybody, you wouldn't have anybody willing to do that though, huh?
In the applications that I have now, no,
No,
they're all operators, you know,
yeah,
so.
it's kind of a special if he wanted to, you know,
And
he worked his way into that.
I have talked with Tanya about that and stuff like that, and she had some ideas, some very good ideas of kinda like Aaron said, of making it a full-time gig, you know, to make it all work, so there's a lot to,
And I'm sure you could take some of the stuff, off Marlis's load too, you know?
I
She's
mean,
doing a lot of
There's
extra
gonna be
stuff.
enough out there to do, I think.
Enough
yeah.
out there, huh?
Yeah.
So you won't need to worry about, there'll be enough out there, so.
I think there is, there's enough
So the
to stay
quicker
busy.
you can get somebody there, probably the better off we are, huh? Cause nobody's documenting things right now and then, huh?
I'd say green light to get somebody out there. Work with Tanya, get somebody hired that can fill that spot.
If you,
That's my opinion.
That
We've
might
got the money to do it.
not so easy to get somebody maybe even.
You don't know.
No, right.
And not everybody's gonna turn out. You don't know that.
So we have discussed the salary range on that deal. Is there any recommendations? I mean, she has ranges where these other these other counties have their people at. I don't know if we wanna try to stay within our step, we have to stay within our step and grade, right? That's the deal, to stay with.
Yeah, so you'd have to find a comparable office, which, I mean, just coming to mind, the first thing would be like the, office person at the sheriff's department. I mean, that seems like a germane type role, I guess, you know, as far as like an administrative assistant for a department that, you know, has other responsibilities, like they don't share the same responsibilities as someone in their department. I mean, it's the most fair unless you guys got a better idea, but I mean.
No, I think that'd be.
So somewhere just comparable to that probably seems to me the most
She's a
reasonable.
correctional officer too though, so, but compare it like to like
The tax
Vicky
director.
Schwab or tax director or, you know,
Oh,
Marlena
yeah.
down there,
Something like that.
yeah.
Okay,
Right, I mean, just that would be the neighborhood. I mean, it's not gonna
Yeah.
probably be exact, just with the experience and qualifications, but I mean, that would be kind of the neighborhood to stay
And I
fair.
don't know if you're thinking part-time or full-time, I just wanna say when Christina advertised for her part-time position, she got some good applicants.
Did you?
Oh, yeah,
better than like a full-time position type deal, or?
I mean, what did she have? 4 good ones, right, Josh? I
Yeah,
think.
there were 5 good ones.
She did.
5 good ones, yeah.
I think,
I thought the number was
I would've
96
had a
to be
tough
I think
time.
you'll be surprised it's gonna step forth.
Okay, I will get in touch with Tanya here and try to get it moving forward, I guess.
Okay, get a job description put together.
Anything else, guys?
Oh, you got these 2 permits.
Yeah, I know, I've seen that.
Okay.
Well, I think that's good, Russ. Get on it, 'cause we don't wanna be without it for too long.
No.
Get behind on all that stuff, you know.
Take that little notebook and write down what we're putting in down that federal aid road deal. And I'm afraid there's gonna be more coming this weekend. And I'm not being a pessimist, they're talking severe in the southern half of the state. But anyhow,
Okay,
anything else?
nope, that's all I got, I guess.
Okay?
All right, Russ.
Okay,
And,
Thanks, Russ.
I don't know what, if we gave you good enough leadership or not.
Just get it done.
Just go.
Next item is utility permit for Mr. Magrum Excavating Plumbing Company to install a 1.25 inch poly water line across 9th Avenue Southeast, southwest quarter of section 15 to the southeast quarter of section 16, township 13576. I mentioned that this morning, and I'm not to put anything on air on additional cost. But I talked to McPherson County, and they said what they do when it's a pressurized water line, they make them shove a plastic sleeve through that is no break in it, or with no shove through what you're familiar with as a protective sleeve. So if the pipeline would break, it doesn't come up through the road beds or saturate it. So, Mr. Magerman, I'd like to ask you to be the example in Emmons County, if you'd like to introduce that, to use a plastic sleeve or not.
Well, the only difficulty with my plan is my plan's not to just bore the road. I'm boring under the road and then I'm going like hundreds of feet to a location.
Okay.
Like you're talking about probably where they're only crossing the road.
This is what they do,
You
just
know,
only
so-
crossing the road.
Right, like, I mean, my plan is to just set up on one side of the road and bore
Keep
to an
going.
entire,
Entire
like, I'm
line.
going probably 400 feet into the yard.
Oh,
So,
okay.
it's for Nathan Weiser's new house there, that's what it
Okay,
is, and I'm boring into the farmyard so it can connect to the well system, so.
Okay, keep the open trench.
So that would be,
Can
I
you
don't
do
know,
it?
I mean, a road bore, you can absolutely case it. Like, if you're only gonna do a road bore of, 150 feet, it's not that hard, you can probably just case the whole thing really, but like in this application, when you're going
For
hundreds of feet, I'd almost have to case the entire thing, cause I don't know how you pull only some casing through and then.
So how do they do it, Aaron? Is it a coil pipe that they call a case? Like the black coil pipe?
I mean, I'm assuming what they're doing is, like you said, if they're doing plastic, they're just doing a larger pipe and then sliding the small one
Right, slide and
inside.
small through.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
but I mean, that's where, yeah, I guess I'm not sure how you would do that with,
I had it done, but it wasn't with water, it was with electrical.
yeah.
They shoved a poly flex pipe,
Mhm.
they bored all the way to the end
Yeah,
for a protective deal. And if you ever had a break, you could pull the old one through
right,
and go into the old.
like an
bore, into
electrical
this poly
conduit,
pipe.
basically,
That was
yeah.
ideal,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a good thing if they're gonna do a bore like the.
Well, I think a lot of these big ones, like even rural water, when they're doing these like 6 and 8 inch lines and stuff, I think they are casing
I
them
think-
because
Are they
it does,
casing?
it does protect the line too, so you wouldn't have
Right.
any compaction.
Right.
You know, on these smaller ones and you're going 6 to 9 feet deep under the road bed,
Inch and a quarter.
you know, it's probably not necessary. I mean, we can
It's like a
certainly,
snake boring through.
can certainly have it done, but I know on the bigger ones, they usually do case them just because
Okay,
of,
okay.
because of a protective
Okay.
side, so.
I'll make a motion to, for this permit for Magnum excavating.
Okay,
I'll second.
second by Gardner, all in favor?
I'm abstaining.
Right, okay.
Aye.
Aye, all okay, motion carried. Utility permit for Chem Electric. 1, road bore from the junction of Highway 13 and 24th Avenue Southeast. 2, road bore from the junction, let's see, junction Highway 13 and 24th Avenue South, wait, I'm sorry. Road bore from the junction of Highway 13 and 23rd Avenue Southeast. 3, road bore from the junction of Highway 13 and 22nd Avenue Southeast. And 4, road bore from the junction of Highway 13 and 20th Avenue Southeast. Is there a motion on that?
Make a motion.
Miller makes a motion to accept all 4 permits.
Second.
Second by Gartner. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Kevin Dyken is done. Troy Hanson, Cavendish.
Oh, he's gonna call in.
Is he calling
Is,
in?
are you with Cavendish? No, you, it did not.
No, like I said, I was a part of a call-in meeting for this project, so I mean, that's why I've been abstaining, cause I do have a part
I
to
know
play
you
in this
got work to
project,
do. We
and,
went through this.
Yeah, we
But-
went through all this.
but yeah, Troy said he's available by phone if we have any questions. I told him that it was most likely unnecessary unless the planning and zoning felt like,
Oh,
he felt like it kinda got ironed out and, you know, not to speak for him or whatever, but cause he asked if he should come to the meeting, I said, well, if you were at planning and zoning, did they tell you, or did they have any concerns?
It passed.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, from what he explained to me of what they're asking, it doesn't, so, he's available by phone if you need him. I didn't feel like that got left that way, so. I guess if you guys wanna elaborate it on it, since you're on the planning and zoning,
but everything good with Cavendish then on this?
I mean,
variance?
to my knowledge, they're looking for a variance because they have a architect of record that's designing this building. And this architect is designing this building like it's an industrial building versus a farm building, so he's telling them they need like multiple bathrooms on this site, and they, that doesn't meet any of their safety standards on the potato side. It's a huge conflict, so the architects will only allow this design to be modified if the county commission accepts that it's like a farm ag use building instead of industrial. And the only reason that's a conflict is because Seaview Farms and Cavendish are 2 separate entities. It's a complication amongst architects essentially, and they want assurance that the county's not gonna come back in 10 years and require that we put men's and women's multiple bathrooms in a potato storage building. It seems pretty ridiculous.
The other one was insulation.
Yep,
And then
I read that.
Distance
distance
between
between.
buildings.
And then it's about a cement wall, the
Right,
distance.
which, I mean, I can just tell you as being a part of the design process of this whole project, it's being overbuilt. I'm just telling you, like,
And that's basically what he
it
said.
is,
It is.
yeah.
They've used the foam that they're gonna use, they've used in other buildings,
Yeah, I read that.
themselves, so.
And the biggest issue they're running into is they have this, like, food storage standard, cause obviously it's potatoes.
Yep.
And then they're running into building code issues, cause this isn't like a bin, it's a building.
Yeah,
But they
right.
store food in it, so they have this weird complication that someone's gotta give, like you either gotta call it a food bin or you gotta call it a building, well, they're trying to call it a food storage bin, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the variances.
For Cavendish Farms.
For Cavendish Farms.
There's a motion by Gardner, second by Miller. Any more discussion?
I'm abstaining due to a conflict of interest.
If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next line item, Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Gardner, planning and zoning updates.
Oh, we had a meeting last Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning. We had 4 absent. Well, 1 in and out.
4 absent.
3.5. And we passed, well, all of these zoning deals here, and We dealt with Cavendish Farms, I think, for probably half hour, 45 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, there was a majority of it
Yeah,
to go through it, to make sure we understood, everybody understood.
right. And we were gonna talk about a moratorium again, but being there were so many absent, the consensus was to table it till next meeting, so
It's all good.
that's where we're at.
Where, I didn't hear that correctly. Are you, at any position with moratorium yet?
We were talking about it, but nothing happened because there was so many absent, not in attendance. So the board felt it was best to put it off again.
Wait till next month?
Till next month, which would be this one.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea though.
Joe.
You looking at it, huh?
Oh, I absolutely think it is.
Yeah,
Not ready for any projects.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna, at least until you guys and the whole board get all that stuff somewhat ironed out, you know.
Right.
You know. I don't know, but I think that'd be a good idea, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, a moratorium for a year, like one guy said to me, that goes pretty fast.
Oh, it does, it does.
So it might not even be enough, but.
I don't think it's good enough, but you could always extend these moratoriums.
Well, we can talk about it down here in Q when we get there, if you want to keep the discussion going.
Oh,
It's, you're not stopping a project, and these companies know it, it's kinda like they said, the companies that are strong, healthy, and that wanna build and do this,
Right.
they're not gonna leave.
No,
This deal that happened over in Wishing with Giva, whatever they are, that evidently they weren't concrete or they didn't ever pull it.
no.
When they put that 1 year on versus a 60-day moratorium, they couldn't even resolve the damn water permits over there in 60 days.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, I see you got another spot you were.
Unless you wanna talk about it, no, that's up to you.
go ahead,
Yeah. small
talk about it, you're talking.
I would just interject on one thing. I know we have the public comment period.
Yeah,
Does anybody wanna speak to that since we're so far off of that before we get into that?
is there anybody that wants to speak on that?
Is that,
No.
since we do have people here at least.
On, what, on the?
Well, the Senate Bill 2180 allows for public commentary, and since we have people here.
Speak on what?
Whatever you wanna speak on.
No, it's just,
Whatever you wanna
it's just
speak about.
available for
Yeah.
public comment, but I see you're on the agenda, so if you wanna just wait for that, it's fine, but
I could do it now instead.
No, you just gotta-
well, I think we should move with the agenda, I just thought since we have people here and we're way behind, maybe we should just ask if that's what they're here for. If you're here for something else, then.
That's kinda what I mean, I'm in favor of putting something in place like that.
So you're kinda here for the moratorium
For the
discussion?
moratorium?
Okay, I just,
Good,
So you're speaking for it, to put them in place? Okay.
good.
I'll speak for that too, putting it in place, yes.
Okay,
In that meeting we had the other night, it was just an informational meeting.
did you attend it?
I did,
Okay.
thank you, by the way,
Pardon?
appreciate that,
Yeah.
whoever organized that.
It was a plus.
Yeah, very helpful. It's glad to see commissioners doing their jobs and allowing public forum and information prior to things coming in, so much appreciated.
Do you think it was slanted one way or the other or not?
I don't think so. I think,
I think the politicians could stay home, talk political, in my opinion, and I've heard that from several other people, that the politicians should have not been allowed to speak because,
Well, they weren't allowed to campaign.
well, they were campaigning, believe me.
Were they?
I had people telling me that it got very political, they felt, and I agreed, I thought it started off really well, and once the politicians got up, I thought it went to crap, but because of the politicians.
Yeah, I don't
Who
disagree.
spoke in regards to politicians?
Oh, Vern Thompson.
Vern Thompson, Sue Ann Olson,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she wasn't invited, she just
who
showed
was
up.
the other guy that sat at the end of the table?
Oh, the heavy set guy, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
He actually was pretty good. I thought he kept it pretty non-political, but Vern, I was about ready to escort him out myself, but that was my opinion, but like I said, I thought it started off really well, but once the politicians started, it went south in a hurry, I thought.
It's, I suppose it's kinda hard not to head that direction.
It's good, I still think
From the front.
It wasn't,
But anyway.
it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I just, like I said, I just thought that,
It should have been not said.
and I've heard from multiple people that they thought the it got fairly political at the end. And that's what happens when politicians talk, they'll try to tell you they're not campaigning, but they were.
They are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else to be said, public comment or no? We'll move on then. Deb, excuse me, Deb Addy, by telephone, permission to treat town cemetery for badger control.
She called a while ago when you guys were busy, and so I just told her that she'd have to call back, or we call her, she's not available. She just wants you guys, to agree by a letter or whatever, stating that if these badgers come back to the cemetery, they can hire somebody to exterminate the badgers. And I said, well, who would pay for this? And she said they would.
I think you can call the game and fish and, the game warden, the local game warden, call exterminate them if you actually want
Eric
it.
Schmidt.
Guy up there by Moffett.
Oh.
Dunkwitz.
I said he.
Well, we stopped there up to the 6th county, there's no active badgers there right now, they just need to fill some holes in.
Yeah, you were with that, yeah.
Do we oversee the Tell Cemetery?
Well, no, but she said like, they don't wanna hire somebody to come in without the commissioner saying that they can't, I don't know. She
Right,
said
I mean,
it's a
most of
law
these
in South
cemeteries
Dakota,
usually
but-
under the jurisdiction of like a church or something, though, that's why I'm wondering.
No, she said down in South Dakota, they couldn't do it unless the commission's approved, and I said, I don't know if that's a law here or not.
I guess I just was under the assumption that that was, like a church cemetery, cause usually a lot of.
It is, it's not abandoned, no.
Can a caretaker, a cemetery caretaker take care of it?
Unless they're gonna be in like the right of way
It's
there.
kinda in the right of way.
I mean, that would be maybe the idea is that they do need to do some trapping in the ditch
There's
too or
3
something.
holes is right out the middle.
Well, there was one over here, remember we walked?
Yeah,
over that?
and there was
The
another
rest of
one
them were
down there.
in this area, so,
1 wheelbarrow full of black dirt and a spade.
yeah, they honestly, and that's, I don't disagree.
And just a spade, just to pull the one and all in.
There's
So
nothing,
which
there's
side
nothing
you
there
want?
currently.
They're supposed to do what they
They weren't
want.
active?
No, no.
Fill in the holes, and if they
That's all
have
it
a
is.
trouble again, give us a call.
Okay,
I'll sit on the edge of the 22. They won't talk back in there, will they?
See, Materi's gonna take the badgers to the train
Why don't
station.
we-
I want the best, I want the high.
Why don't we give Dykema a 22, cause he's driving that road anyway. And he can, if he sees a badger, he can take it.
Okay, bullshit aside.
Ron might,
okay, done.
he'll have 2 positions.
Can you designate a county exterminator?
This
Cause
is
then
done.
Ron could, I mean, that.
I bet you could.
We're done with and Eric Weber, they were here, they discussed.
Yeah.
Yep,
Resolutions on blah, 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 we're done with that.
no, we're not, no, that's.
Yeah, we're done.
We're not done
No,
with
we
those
got 2
resolutions, we have to
here.
pass them if we want to.
Huh? The one resolution?
Oh, no, that's not,
That was a different.
yeah, this is a totally different.
Resolution 2026,
That's a
county
multi-hazard mitigation plan. and
multi-hazard
operations.
mitigation plan of Emmons County local emergency.
That's coming from emergency management.
Yeah,
right?
and we need to have these done in order to get FEMA reimbursements.
We just passed them at the city wondering what
Okay,
the
so,
heck they were.
We usually pass them every year, that's part of your hazard mitigation plan.
You guys
Every
wanna
5
look
years.
at
Every
it?
5 years, that one?
To
No.
give me confirmation to sign it.
Oh.
I'll make a motion to approve the Emmons County multi-hazardous mitigation plan and Emmons County local emergency operation plans.
There's a motion by Mr. Gardner, is there a second to it?
Yeah, I'll second.
Jim Vandenberg seconds the resolutions.
Is there a
All in
copy of these
favor?
plans?
Excuse me, discussion?
What?
Is there a copy of these plans?
Yeah, I suppose, I don't have them.
You gotta click on the lighter blue stuff to get a copy of it?
Yeah, I bet you would.
That's exactly what I was, that's what I was just doing.
Internet's
Just
not
click
working.
it again.
That's a
Yeah, mine's
Get
single
down
line.
back internet.
close to the
Now
bed.
again.
I mean, my only question would be, what is exactly the hazard mitigation, I mean, because, I mean, it's been 5 years, I mean, it's been 5 years since COVID, what's been put in there?
She's met with, like the water board, she's met with, some other local.
Muzzle smile a little bit, right?
Got them involved in this mitigation plan.
Okay,
Should've been sad down, maybe as a kid.
I mean, I just have some curiosity about it, I guess.
Not
Very
too
should've
old.
straightened your ass out when you were a kid.
I missed that part, right?
But it's all.
Excuse us here.
No, no.
So we
You
have,
made a motion, okay, more discussion, okay, we got a motion for a second, more discussion. Any more discussion on it? All in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Sign them. Okay, what else we got here? Miscellaneous.
Check them when the internet comes back up.
You have Cecilia.
Oh, Lucille, go ahead, come on up, Lucille, excuse me. Lucille,
Hi, everybody. I'm just coming as a regular citizen. I appreciate the meeting the other night. And that's the reason I was coming, because, we as regular taxpayers don't know who our zoning commissioners are, or our zoning members. So I was wondering if I could get the names of them on record.
Yeah, but all,
Myself and James Gardner, David Mock, Dan Weber,
should be a list.
and Lauren Vanderhorst, Eric Schmidt, Aaron Meyer,
Wayne Ely,
Wayne Ely.
and, yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
So we have quite a few.
Nine.
Okay.
There's two from the county commission, there's two from the city of Linton, which is the county seat, that's why there's two from the city council, and then one per district.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is all set up.
There you go.
The, Century Code.
They serve various 2 and 4 year terms, they're, so
They
they're.
alternate.
Oh, you forgot Dean Dice.
Oh, yeah, Dean Dice, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, snap it with your.
Well, that was the statutory requirement. Right.
And then where do you meet? How often do you meet?
In the commissioner's room downstairs,
Okay.
the first, or the
Last
last
Tuesday
Tuesday
of the
of each month.
We're doing 7:30 now in the morning,
Okay.
and that'll probably change in the fall, winter,
Sure.
maybe the afternoon,
Well, to be fair, what have you guys had, about 4 meetings?
4, yeah.
4, so I mean, it's pretty new.
Maybe 5.
But yeah, I mean, public's welcome, just like any other meeting.
Okay.
it's open, I think, what do you have your meetings at 7 a.m.?
7:30.
7:30.
7:30, okay.
I didn't have.
Public is welcome.
January, I think we did,
Yeah, that's what we set up.
But it says on the schedule that you're at 3 P M.
Yeah, we'll change that.
Is that, okay, so it's 7:30 A M?
Yeah, it's
7:30 a.m., right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we were doing them at 3.
Aaron Meyer's vice chair, David Mock is vice chair.
You put that, I didn't put that up there.
David is vice chair, right?
Mary did this, but now Mike, is kind of taking over the website, update stuff, so I'll let her know Dave more. Dave, yeah, Dave's nice.
Okay, that was my main question, and then I was wondering about the, what you guys were talking about, the conditional use permit, I think you said is 3%. In your zoning and in your preparation work, are you also thinking about the abatements? Because they were talking about the 15-year abatements.
Abatement for what?
If the data centers and that
Yeah.
came in.
No, we haven't discussed anything about that.
Okay, but you guys are putting a list together of
Right.
the thought
And I would
processes
not
and-
be in favor of an abatement.
Actually, they've
Well,
talked
that's-
about that,
yeah.
that most AI centers do not actually even ask for an abatement.
Okay, there was
They
a
do not.
talk though
Yeah,
about,
they said that, most of them do
okay.
not.
Someone did make that comment.
Yeah, they did make that comment, and that's why I was.
Yeah, somebody made a comment,
So-
but they say that most of the AI centers do not ask for a tax abatement.
Okay,
Yeah,
Feel if they have the money to build, they can pay their taxes.
yeah.
well, that's the way I feel
Right.
too, and that's the way my husband feels, so I was just
Right.
curious about that stuff,
No,
so.
but most projects that ask for abatements can afford to pay them, though, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Cause I mean, sometimes the confusion comes in that a lot of these tax abatements come from the county commissions.
right.
And a majority of them are in the century code from the state legislature, and that's what we were finding out with things like these CO2 pipelines and a lot of these other ones that they have 10-year exemptions, and they're supposed to be a carrot to invite you to build in your state, so. There's a lot of those abatements are more than likely gonna be out of the county's hands, probably, just because it seems like the trend is for the legislature and the governor to be very pro-business.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're gonna probably expand these tax rebates and these abatements and these exemptions for any project that they feel they wanna attract to the state, so.
Right, but at least we're trying to do our part, so that.
Well, I think most counties wouldn't be in favor of an exemption or an abatement, because obviously it takes money away from you. Now,
Right.
generally, to my understanding, the exemptions that have already been in place, a lot of times the counties will still get the money, it's the state that pays that tax.
Oh,
So the counties still get the money, but
okay.
it's our money either way, like, I feel like it's kind of self-defeating, cause the state is subsidizing your, you know, your corporations essentially on property tax for a certain amount of time, which, you know, so the counties wouldn't necessarily be hurting in that regard, and
Okay.
that's why some people make the comment that why do the counties complain, you're still gonna get your money, well, if you're not in favor of a project like that, then, you know. But every case is different, every project's different, some have different exemptions, some have sunset clauses, it just depends what the legislature wants to get away with.
Right, and the mood they're in.
Yeah.
One other thing we have to do is develop a comprehensive plan for the county. And that's like a 10 to 20 year vision for the county, where they wanna be, where they want their development.
That's not an easy thing to do.
No, that's not, so we're gonna have to start working on that too.
You've got a comprehensive plan in place now, it's old.
That's old, yeah, so it needs updated.
Okay,
And then, another thing I'd like to see with the moratoriums is do individual moratoriums on each project that's coming. So if we want to develop one, we can pull that up, the moratorium down without taking the other ones out.
and what do you think about the, 1 year versus maybe 2 or 3 years? Because like they were saying, a year can creep up on you so fast when you have no clue
Well,
what you're coming into.
if we're still behind, we can always renew it.
Okay, it's not a concrete
No,
thing.
no,
Okay, and,
it's all how you write it up.
okay, and the non-disclosure agreements, how
Well,
we do?
We had that
That's
meeting the
another
other
thing
night, we're all
Okay.
open.
Okay, just questions
Yeah.
that were going through my mind.
That's how we find out if we have a meeting and everybody comes together to tell us what their thoughts are.
Sure, sure, I do appreciate the meeting, and I think I've got everything pretty much put together. Oh, are you guys also thinking though on, your backing, your property lines?
Setbacks.
Yes, your setbacks, thank you.
We're actually working on, kind of adopting somebody else's zoning book, that's been written quite a bit more, it's more updated
Yeah.
than many, but we have Joe looking into it, cause it's got some really horrible zoning things that we wanna strike out before we even think about adopting it, I mean, things that actually would hinder people right now in the county.
So is this a zoning from a company or from a county that's already dealing with data centers?
Well, it's a county that's, McIntosh adopted it from Burke County, and it's pretty solid, it's about 89 pages, right, I think it was?
That's pretty thick.
But there's a few,
Flaws with it.
well, there's quite a few flaws with it. So Joe's looking into that, and then we're gonna add some of our own stuff and build on that, so that we have something fairly current.
You can't go too far on setbacks because that discriminates, I think, against some of these
Okay.
developers.
Okay,
But it has to be reasonable,
right,
right?
right, we want protection.
Yes.
Well, you do,
Yeah.
you do,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
State just step over you anyhow.
Well,
But it all comes down to what the legislature does too, or the PSC. Some of these projects we have no control over.
yeah,
Well, and it's a fine line on property rights too, I mean, a landowner should have the ability to do what they want, but you have to protect the people around them that don't want that, and it's one of those, you know, I mean, I wasn't on here when the wind turbines were here the first time, and I can't even imagine how much fun that was, because there were people that wanted nothing to do with it, and they're surrounded by them, and people that wanted it. And setbacks or not, they're still in somebody's backyard, it's crazy, I mean, you go over to Wishick and you look at, holy, I mean, you got a guy that built a really nice house right on 13, that he's got them every direction, every window he looks out, he can see them, and it's, he's so mad, he wants to pick his house up and move it to another county. But, you know, I mean, that's the fine line that you're trying to protect the landowner and the citizens.
yeah.
There's no,
No, it's a danger if you do, a danger if you don't.
Yeah.
there's no respect for you and I. I mean, they do, but they don't. I look like these data centers in Allendale when I left to the west. There was a father sitting out back at his deck with 2 young kids. And hell, they look just maybe half a mile from the data center. Listen, their life is over with once they start them up. The screaming noise, they'll end up moving to accommodate or to, yeah, deal with these data centers. Their way of life is over.
Yeah, maybe.
The immediate.
You got something out here that's screaming if you go inside of it too, and it's not when you're standing beside it, the Apple pumping station. That's screaming when you go in there, but you can't hear it standing out on the highway. So I mean, it just depends.
Depends on, yeah.
You know, I mean, those are just things that we have to make sure that we put in there if it comes down to it, you know, that decibel, that's something Craig asks everybody.
It's like that landman that was representing Devo. He said, well, it's no different than when he did this, the decibels. I said, yeah, that's just temporary. A constant decibel is a different ballgame.
Then there's low frequency noise there.
Yeah,
You can't hear
that's what
the
they
old
were
dogs
talking
going like
about,
this.
yeah. We can't even hear.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you very much, I appreciate it, I just have a few questions and you helped answer them, so
Come early, come 7:30 and listen if you want.
I will do my best.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
I wanna read one little thank you note that we got here as commissioners, Emmons County Commissioners. The money to help keep our park functioning is greatly appreciated. These funds help to pay our mower and yearly upkeep. Some of our upcoming projects include new roofs on our picnic shelters and lawn shed, new door on our men's bathroom house, and getting more pea gravel to fill in around our playground equipment. Thanks again, Hazelton Park Board.
Good, very nice.
Who it came from, I don't know, somebody, Dean Weiss or somebody, I imagine.
Joe, did Braddock ever get their deal together on their park or no?
That deed,
I haven't been contacted to think directly.
you haven't heard nothing of it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Not if they're doing a team, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, they were gonna.
Okay, miscellaneous guys, gaming site authorization for American Legion Post 126 at Cattail Resort.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second. Magrum makes a motion to approve. Gardner seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Item 2, plat for auditors, Lot B, a parcel of land in the southeast corner of section 25, Township 130, range 79, west of the 5th principal meridian.
Alright, my other computer's out of commission now, so I don't have actual plats, but I'll pull it up here, just the area.
There's all the stuff for miscellaneous.
I don't wanna touch them, because then they go missing.
Alright, so, the auditor's lot D. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was less than an acre, which is fine, cause they're just.
Where's this
flattening out. So Greg Langler's,
It's on 1804.
Stuart Alder.
Oh.
Right between State Line and Langler, or between Langler's and Cattail.
South of
It's a
Larry.
blue roof log cabin that was built last year, basically, or
Oh,
was
up in that hill.
finished last year.
Yeah, right off the
Right
highway.
around the curve.
That's Greg's deal.
The land around it, yeah.
Yeah.
He sold him the land, and
Okay.
what they're doing
Alder,
is they're,
wasn't it Alder?
he's just platting out this, some additional land that they're gonna deed to Stewart, so. You know, it's not like they're creating another lot.
Planning
to
zoning,
Build on.
send it forward.
Yeah, we approved it.
Okay,
So
if it's all good to go, Josh,
Yep.
is there a motion to accept the plat?
Make the motion.
Miller makes a motion to accept, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Magrum, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 3. Plat of tract 1, south half of section 13, township 131, range 75.
What section was it? 13? This is just platting out the yard. It was a large
Who's
tract,
that?
so there's no issue.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Gardner, second, Miller. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Who was that, Josh?
I don't know who it was for.
Revenue,
Revenue?
yeah, Ken and, yeah.
Okay, number 4, plat of tract A, southwest quarter of the southeast quarter, section 26, township 132, range 77 of the 5th PM, prime meridian.
That's Cavendish's plat.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's gonna be essentially this area right here. And that's the plat for that, so.
Is there a motion to accept the plat?
So they got about, what, 20 acres there or something?
Is that what it was? I think it's 20, yeah.
Or it looks, I mean, just
Yeah.
judging by that.
I think it's exactly 20, that's the south half, the southwest.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Gardner makes a motion to approve. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Matters. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, item 5, building permit for Russ Fuller to move in 2 hopper bins, 4,000 bushels, and build a 45,000 bushel superior grain bin on the northwest quarter of section 10, township 129, range 74. That's on that old Joe Frank place.
Yeah, they're gonna put them in this general vicinity, over 200 feet away from each road. It'll equate to over 250 from the intersection, so it's fine.
Okay,
3 bins in this area.
okay.
Be fine, huh?
Is there a motion to accept the building permit for Russ Fuller?
Motion.
Gardner, second.
Yeah.
Miller, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 6, building permit for Gary Jangla to add a roof over the deck located on the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter, the northeast quarter, the southeast quarter, section 8, township 130, range 79.
I was gonna say the
If you
river.
could find it
down
down
at
at
the
the
river.
Yeah, up the
That's
river.
definitely a cattail.
Huh?
That's cattail. All these right here, I'll describe. it.
That's cattail, huh? They got such long,
Yeah, except these ones.
The hell was that down in there, all them little, white little buildings down there to the left?
To your campers.
Huh?
Campers.
That's they're all campers.
That's the resort.
Okay.
But no, this one's good, he's just going over the deck on the backside there, so,
All good.
yeah.
Is there a motion to accept the building permit for Gary Jangla?
motion.
Jim Vanderwerf makes a motion. Second by Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 7, liquor licenses for Todd Dusma. Doing business as the Quincy Bar for special events held on June 27th and the 28th of 2026, August 15th of 2026, and August 22nd and the 23rd of 26 at the Beaver Horse Club grounds located on a portion of the southwest quarter of section 36, township 131, range 76.
I was gonna make a motion to approve that before you finish, Brett. I'd like to
Second.
finish it.
By Gardner, second by Magrum, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That should be it, I think, guys.
So what do you guys want me to do when we have a full meeting, I mean, before you guys all sit?
You guys wanna break for a lunch from here on out?
Well,
Steady, good old
when
lunch?
you got something that's gonna run into 3 o'clock, I would, but
You want
I
to?
see Aaron
You
saying.
want it, Aaron, say, no, I wanna get home and get something done.
No,
Anson, what do you think?
Yeah, I gotta leave, pick up a kid in about 10 minutes.
Okay, so bring granola bars and just chew. Okay.
Whatever you guys wanna do, doesn't bother me.
I say accept agenda items till about 12:45. It's tough, you know, the problem.
The more added to the agenda after 12:45.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the problem is that was probably one of the most in-depth equalization meetings I've been a part of. Like, normally, there's maybe one person.
Yeah.
Dale Johnson's been here before, you know, and he's usually got pretty good info and he brings it forward, and a lot of his things he needs usually end up going up to the state, like, you know, I mean, it's usually sorted out. There was definitely a mood in the room,
Well, and
so
I think maybe
it
next
took way
time-
longer than normal.
I
That's
think
not
next
normal.
time you set
That's
the
not normal.
equalization meeting up at about 11:45, and then they won't show up because they don't know.
Well, I just think it's hard, you know, because, you know, Marlis gave, what, 10 to 15 minutes for each level?
Yeah.
That's more than, usually we sit here and we
Yeah.
go through the sales and there's maybe one person, and so obviously
Yeah.
somebody was upset, started calling some people, wanted to create a rally, but I can just tell
It's a
you
pissing match.
from my experience with these equalizations, especially some of them there, you have a process. the people in the cities go to the city, the
Yeah.
people in the counties and the townships come here.
And you never
And then
know.
you can go to the state. Now, we can make corrections, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna make it sound like there's nothing we can do, but generally, it's kind of accepted that if your assessor is following the law and is having other people look over his or her shoulder, and they're not changing it much or at all, it's gonna go to the state equalization, like Marlis and I did. We had a heck of a case that one year to try and get them to not reduce the recreational and commercial properties.
With Rice Lake there.
And they didn't care because it was following the law. You know, everything was, you know, and they're just basically looking for, like the whole point of equalization is like you're trying to catch mistakes. If you're disputing evaluation, but there's no mistakes in the process, I really don't.
No, they didn't.
If you would try and adjust something just willy-nilly because you thought someone made a good case, it's kind of like the thing I was trying to get at with Dale Johnson, like Dale's spot on with his use of the law, like I'm not disagreeing with him, but you can't just go and be like, well, I think grassland's worth half, because now you've put a hand grenade in the entire process.
Right.
And that's what I was trying to get at. I don't wanna dispute people, I don't blame them, I don't disagree with them. A property that you were paying $300 a year on, now all of a sudden you're paying $3,000 or $4,000
Well,
a year.
it just got out of hand, the way houses and everything have sold in this county, all these increases. have
Right.
just- I mean, it was weird this time because the evaluations went up so much because the sales in this county are, I mean, cause we don't normally, we're kind of the same way like what Aaron said of the city. People, if you're lucky to get a couple people and they don't really say much, they just kind of sit there and everybody just leaves. But we had quite a bit this year because everybody was going up 20, 25, 30, 35%, so.
Well, and I'll tell you, another thing that has happened is, one, we've seen some massive inflationary costs, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, even your assessments are gonna go higher. I'm not defending the system, I'm just literally explaining what we have. Nobody loves it.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult for some of these property, I mean, I know several properties in the county, and mine is one of them, that I feel is totally fair that it's assessed, but I'm out in the country. It's very difficult to even find comparables to my property, cause it's like 40 acres on an old farm, but if you were gonna try and rebuild that, it'd be extremely difficult, so. Is it undervalued? Should I be paying more taxes? Well, I mean, no, cause really the value of what has been paid for it and what has been upgraded is just difficult from a sale value, and it's not a great system. That's why the legislature battles every legislative session to try and fix it, and they don't get it right either. Cause how do you do it? Like, how do you equally disperse costs of services to people while you try and do this valuation? There was a time when they had personal property, like literal personal property, like the stuff in your building got valued. Like, I've never been a part of that, but you maybe probably remember that, or, like, not to pick on your age, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, just saying that's something.
Just picking on our age.
Well, is it not true though? Like, there was a personal property tax back in all the way into like the 50s, 60s and 70s, they only got away with that.
I can remember the assessor sitting in the car with Dad.
Right, like literally going through your stuff and like.
Putting the value on
So
the
I'm grateful that we don't have that system too, so like, no, like there's been.
I think a lot of this came about because it seems to me like the system that we use maybe is slightly broke or could do a better job of giving people the reasons why some of this stuff, I mean, some of it's just because you're valuing it. If some of it was, you were valuing pre-construction or just now you're not.
That was
Some of this information should have a little bit more specifics on it when it's sent out, and I'm not saying anything against Christina. Our department, I think it's the software maybe, should have a little more information on it.
Well, and I will say one thing, the legislature, in an attempt to try and be very transparent to people, made it so you have to send out notifications to everybody. Well, now that you've created that kind of workload, it really makes it difficult to, like, reach out to some of these folks and be like, hey, your valuation's going up 30% because it went from new construction to completed. You used to get those, it used to be a sheet where if it went up above 10%, well, now everybody gets them, so now if you as the citizen don't really read it and focus and go, oh my gosh, this is what's happening, like, you don't get that reminder, like, why has mine gone up so high? Because everybody's getting them and you're just, so I think there's a little bit of responsibility on everybody involved now, like the legislature might have added too much of a wrinkle into it. It's very difficult for a department with 1.5 employees to try and really be transparent to 10,000 parcels. And I think it's just a combination of things that, I think people were upset and rightfully so, but then at the same time, I don't know how you make it a lot better, unless you do the same thing we just talked about with the road department. You had 3 more people to the office that are their sole responsibility is to call people and tell them their values are going
Well,
up.
Kelsey, the kid up there talking about your property card being updated, and that was good information.
Well, I think there's,
But it's crazy.
at the danger of sounding like a government official, as a whole, whether it's voting or property taxes or some of these initiatives, like, we as citizens are expecting too much sometimes from everybody, like, well, you're supposed to do that, it's kind of your responsibility to make sure that you're filling out your property tax exemptions or your abatements or your, you know what I mean, like, there's some people that think like, they shouldn't have to apply for any of this stuff, it should just happen.
Automatic.
How do you do that? Like, it's your job as a citizen to be like, hey, there's an opportunity here, I'm gonna have to fill out this paperwork to do it. And as soon as they kind of get upset about that, it's difficult to maybe even have some sympathy, because it's like, it's our job as citizens to hold the government accountable too.
Mr. Lee, that was it. You guys look at all the bills. $1,600.
Well, just the sheet that.
Did you look at the sheets? You go to
Yeah,
get
you
through all
should, you
these.
get the $1,600
I usually just go through the sheets,
I
so
usually go through the sheets.
I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything out of line,
Yeah,
did
the
you?
one he's talking about. You know,
If not, yeah, this is primary credit.
Yeah, well, I'll,
Figure out
is
that.
everybody done looking?
Are you
at the
guys done
bills and
looking at the
stuff?
receipts, the bills?
Okay.
Are you?
Make a motion, we close the meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Second, okay.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, no. Motion to adjourn. Who motioned to adjourn?
I did.
We
Great.